All right, and we are live.
Regionfree makes my nipples hard. So let's go.
Return to London after midnight on WTSF.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about it a lot. I just wanted to hear your voice. You know what today is, right? I can't stop thinking about it. About what happened. And to his face. It was just a prank. What do you mean for that to happen? It's been 5 years.
Someone else say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back to Region Free in December of 2023. If you're watching this vaguely in the future, if YouTube and Earth are still a thing, then this was our feelings about the films of the year 2023. Anytime after the pandemic, I feel isn't like a real time anyway, though, right? Like the simulation has fully taken over.
Yeah, I think the world could have ended in 2012. And whatever this is just what's left.
We had 8 years feeling regular before it went weird. Damn.
Wow.
That was not where it was fucking feeling regular. The world went to shit around 2010.
Oh, no. It still felt very regular to me until fucking...
Oh, no. I'm talking about, like, the world kind of collapsed early 2010s, and then, like, it just got worse. So I feel like this could be hell, is what I'm getting at. It's, spoiler alert. We've just been trapped in hell for 11 years.
The devil's favorite podcast.
That's bullshit, man. I was waiting for fucking Clarence Williams III to let me know that I was in hell.
Right?
That's always how I hoped it would happen.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
I do not know what's going on.
Tales from the Hood.
Hood, man. Like one of the best anthology movies ever made.
Saw it in theaters. Haven't seen it since. It does not seem like that was a 2023 movie.
Oh no,
It is not.
No.
It's not. Best of 1995 list.
just a reference.
Let's do that. Yeah, let's just do best of 95 instead.
That might be even a harder year than this one to do.
I think Space Jam was around that time, so that wins all of it.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
96.
Oh, thanks.
Can all cosplay Braveheart. Be awesome.
Wow.
There's a pedophile in my neighborhood named William Wallace.
That's awesome.
Oh.
No, it's not.
I mean, not for you. I mean, for me, it's humorous.
He's just out there screaming, "Kid bomb!"
This is how the show starts, guys. This is how the show starts. But continue to vote online about which one of us do you think it was created by AI. There may have been already some hints in this episode.
Sam's not on. We're 5 minutes in, and we're talking about 1995 movies and pedos. That's what happens.
That is what happens.
What happens?
And I was warned, like, don't talk about dead children or pets, or else our ratings suck. And you guys go right off the I didn't even do it this time.
It's my
Right
bread
off
and
the
butter.
cliff.
It's a crutch for me.
Okay. So we're not going to do any of the regular programming, really, except for one bit in the middle that we normally do on these shows. We're not going to read your mail. So for all of these who are hoping to have your moment in the sun, and now we're going to cry yourself to sleep, you can start crying now. We're not going to read any mail. We're not going to respond to that. We're not going to do segments today. All we're going to do is talk about our favorite films of 2023. Let's start with some general impressions of the year, though. That should depress everyone. Dan, what'd you think of this year's cinematic endeavors?
So slow start, certainly in the horror genre, but we aren't just talking horror tonight. So there's, other things that we're open to. But if you dig, the greatness is there. This is true, Sam. This is true. Steak
CM Sam over there brings all the ratings in.
I want the Steak Sam CM Punk Seth Rollins promo battle.
There we go.
He's got to channel that Rollins voice though.
Henry Rollins?
You can do Henry.
I can't.
That works.
I'm not a good promo. Like, just
I wouldn't.
quickly.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm not. Actually, I mean, like when it's genuine, yeah. But that's different. That's not being
best in the world.
She's just got to piss you off, and then you'll find it.
Listen here.
Steve, what is your general impression of the year?
My general impression of the year
of in film.
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, I mean, just if we're gonna talk, just one of the best years I've had in my life, at least in the last 5-6. But as far as films go, it's hard for me to kind of answer that question as it pertains to other years, solely because I've never had a reason to kind of keep up on stuff. So it's just, okay, I'll get to, The Lighthouse, that just came out, right? Oh no, it's 3 years old now. Yeah, that's just been my life as I've gotten back into
Barbarian.
In the last. Yeah, I think it took me a year to get to that one.
It should have taken me a year.
But there was some decent stuff. I thought some clever stuff, but then there was just a lot of fucking, that big budget, just letdowns. It's just sad. I don't know. But
we got The Machine this year. I mean, come
now
on, that wins it alone.
He's feeling that anger now.
Oh boy,
I'm not going to understand anything that happens on this episode, right?
Well, not if
I'm going to have to read a Wikipedia entry later that explains it to me.
It's Bert Kreischer, the stand-up comedian's movie. It was terrible. It flopped.
Sorry.
Steak was just going to pop back up with his shirt off, and
I have so much more fucking self-respect than that. I just want that.
I didn't watch that. Before we get into it, if you don't mind, did you see it, Steak?
No.
Okay. Never mind then. Somebody in the comments let me know if it sucked.
He sucks on such a level that I don't like to talk about him. I don't like to think about him. He upsets me.
I'm gonna get you tickets to see him for Christmas.
Nice.
Jonathan, what do you think of 2023's movie?
This year's for movies sucked excessive penis.
I don't think so,
dude. I've been since the meeting day, and I've still got it up here. I've been going through all of the release films this year. Very underwhelming. There's not even surprising stuff in here that's oh shit, that came out. I kind of like that.
So as I text someone who's supposed to be on the show, I have to say, this year was a huge step down from the last, 5 years or so. And while I did find stuff that I love, this was a year that in my top 10, and we'll get to it, but there's exactly 2 American films.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not, you might think I'm the obscure old and foreign guy, but normally the majority of my list is still American. That was not true this year. There was a lot of garbage dumped onto the marketplace this year. And I can't say it was all huge, like worst of franchise disappointments, though at least one was. It's just that there was just a severe lack of original properties coming out of this country that it just felt like we've been there, done it so many times. As an example, and I don't want to steal anyone's thunder if this is on your list, but I'm seeing Saturn Video is actually mentioning it in the chat. Evil Dead Rise.
No.
Was, I guess, fine.
You're being nicer to it.
I don't think it's a great film. I think the other 4 films in its franchises are all great films in their own way. It's
the only one in the franchise that is subpar.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's like a terrible movie, but like that remake is way better than it should be.
Right.
Remake's very good.
So good. And then this one, like, you could almost get around calling this an Evil Dead movie. Like, if you wanted to work a little bit, like it doesn't have to be Evil Dead.
It could have been a Demons sequel just as easily.
Yeah. I mean, the most Evil Dead it feels is at the beginning with.
And I don't mean that because of the setting. It's
not on my list, and it's my least favorite Evil Dead movie, but I still enjoyed it. I think it was a good popcorn movie.
Call it a bad movie. It's leagues worse than the other 4.
It's a pretty good. Yeah, it's a really good franchise, and that's the problem. Like, it's a high bar.
But that's what I'm saying about the whole year. Kind of is. I feel this way about, like, did I see stuff domestically that was fine? Sure, but it all felt very familiar, and I don't know. I feel like we are listening to Warrant and Slaughter, and Nirvana is right around the corner. But we're not quite to Nevermind just yet. And at least that's my hope. That's me being an optimist, which is not my natural condition.
So I mean, does that suggest that, Nevermind, whoever makes Nevermind for, this has already made something else that's not too bad?
It's possible. It's possible. I think the most likely thing is that we're all going to be broadsided by some indie release that makes it out into 2,000 theaters in its first week and blows us all away and starts a paradigm shift. Because actually the waters are good for it, right? Because you can get an independent film on 2,000 screens these days without breaking too much of a sweat.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a film at the beginning of this year that proves that you could put, like, just film emulsion in dust and sunlight on film, and people will actually show up and watch it and discuss it as if it's a real movie.
Skinamarink isn't on your list, Lorne?
It's on a different list. It's still the worst thing of the year, and it had competition from another film.
20 fucking minutes of that pile of shit. Fuck that movie. I just want to say it. I'm not going to be as
wait, Stick. You'd be okay calling it a film or a movie?
Oh, no, I guess not. But fuck that school project.
It's an insult to potato phones.
Potato phone.
It works as a.
Is that an Irish? Is that like a? Is that some sort of Irish?
The Irish version of the Obama phone. Yes,
that's what it is. Potato phone. Get you a potato phone. Boy, get your potato phone.
It shouldn't be your entire source of nourishment, but it should help you get, boy.
It should be most of your nourishment, though. It's potatoes.
At this point, our audience is like they're talking about potatoes.
Nobody
signed up for.
Video
this isn't the first episode. Like we're established in our fucking.
Yeah.
This is true.
So it sounds like none of us thought this year was awesome, right?
No. I can't say it blew me away.
Dan's
down with like
not awesome, but good. You have to dig. That's the thing. You have to dig, and that I think my list kind of reflects that.
By the way, folks, Dan was the only one that didn't have a list ready to go 3 days ago. So, like, I'm very interested to see what he narrowed down, because I have no idea what Dan's.
I actually saw physical panic on his face when I pressed him to come up with a list of at least 5. Even 5, he went.
So I have no idea where he's going to go.
I probably saw at least 500 movies this year.
God damn, Dan.
It's tough to narrow that down, but I did. I stayed up very late, and I think I gave got a pretty good top 10.
You have the opposite of whatever ADD is. Like, you pay way too much attention.
You got a lot of thought
You know
put
what?
into the list.
You know what? In 2,000 years, people are going to have a religion built around this man and what he suffered for us.
The seer, Dan Schein, he sees all.
There was a lot of disappointments this year. Certainly, wide release stuff I think was meh overall.
Yeah.
Although I think there'll be a couple wide
There's-
theatrical releases making the list tonight, but
There's one film that could be the best of the year still to come. I know Lauren won't even see it, but the other three on this panel, I'm not going. I'm going to see it opening night. Iron Claw. That could make the list, give or take. I can't put it anywhere right now. But
Iron Claw and Poor Things, the new Yorgos Lanthimos film.
I think that started out as a Bride of Frankenstein pseudo remake sequel.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know for sure, but I think it'll be interesting if nothing else.
Well, it's if you like Emma Stone and you want to see all of Emma Stone, I think you're going to like the film a lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know.
you see, you can't get me to watch a movie that way anymore.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's just like I could Cliff Notes this pretty quick.
All right, so let's start with our bottom five. So, like at this point, want you just to run through your bottom five from 10 to 6, and as much commentary on them as you want or as little. We're not going to talk about them in any kind of long form. We won't have discussions, but if we may end up discussing some of them if they appear on other people's lists. So, Jonathan, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm just going to run pretty quick, okay? Because I don't know. I have a feeling these are going to show up other places. Totally Killer. That's the Amazon Prime exclusive time travel slasher movie. Just because it was a little different. They did some fun stuff with time travel stuff. I enjoyed it. Thanksgiving, the Eli Roth movie that just came out less than a month ago now. That was more, I don't know. I'll watch that again and I'll see if I'm quite as excited as I was about it, just because technically we've been waiting on that movie since like 2007. So, No One Can Save You. The Alien movie was a Hulu exclusive. Did you see that one, Lauren?
I have not. It's on my list, but
I think you might dig it, man. It's different. It's very, very different. I don't know. I don't want to. Anybody else have that on their list? Is it going to get spoken about
That's
any?
one I never got around. That's one that is. There are so many movies this year that have a very similar, overly long title to me that I got some of them mixed up. I missed out. Like, there's something wrong with the children was one of them. This one,
something evil will lurk with the children.
That's another one, right? Like, it's just like, fucking shut up. Pick a different title. You need to get your fucking studio heads together.
Get your shit together.
Parse this out.
Potato Phone, the motion picture.
Potato Phone.
Potato Phone.
I think Nobody Can Save You
Potato
is
Phone.
an excellent movie. And I think other than I like the ending a lot. I think the ending's going to be a little...
There's almost no dialogue in the entire movie. Is there any?
There have been multiple films like that this year too. There's basically none, minus Radio. Silent Night just recently, also almost no dialogue.
Really?
But it works. I think that's one of the better alien invasion movies to come out in a long time. I thought Caitlin Dever was great. That one's, I think, a crowd pleaser. I could recommend that to just about anybody.
Yeah, so much alien in that movie, by the way. Just like, you're used to those movies hiding the aliens in the shadows, and it's just fucking 10 minutes into that movie, dude. That alien shows up and they never go away. It's so much fun.
Yeah, the scene behind the refrigerator, I believe it was, when
legit spooky vibes. Like the whole movie kind of played out like that one really scary scene in Signs. Where
better than Signs,
it's better than Signs, but I always say that scene where the gray comes out from behind the cornrows and just walks. That was super jarring, and the whole movie's kind of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think, and even at the end where you had those giant praying mantis looking things, that movie just delivers in every way. Again, not on the big screen, which is a shame. I
it was
feel like
great.
that
It was
one
great
would
to
have,
watch at home.
yeah, the hype machine behind it. I think it would have done fantastic.
Yeah, because
So,
I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it even when it came out. There was a little buzz around it, but nothing huge.
yeah, really nothing huge. I agree, and that's a shame. Deserved better.
My other two, Last Voyage of the Demeter. Hopefully, we get to talk about that one later. That didn't get enough love. Like, it was unfortunately the universal dump after Oppenheimer. So whatever came out that weekend after Oppenheimer was going to suck anyway, or was going to do terribly at the box office. So they knew what they were doing there. But watch it at home because it's very fun, very well done, great effects, good mood.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like the Dracula story, like, this part of it usually gets glossed over.
Do you think that the classic, it's a question to pose to everybody. Do you think the classic monsters, the Universal monsters in particular, are just dead now at the box office? Because I hate to say it, but I think they might be.
Well, this was, I don't even think people knew this was a Dracula movie.
That's probably true. I mean, I don't think I so I knew what this movie was, I think, before the trailer. Just, like they fucking talk about shit before they release anything. So I knew, and like, oh, that's very cool. It's a very interesting way to break that down. So I was game, you know. As John,
Ben, I was
more about it later, but yeah, I wouldn't have known, like, by the title, unless you know the story, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, like I said, it gets glossed over in other adaptations. It's just kind of the ship shows up and he's there, right? Like, you don't know what really happened on the ship. I don't necessarily understand why he's all gremlin-y.
What's I like that portrayal. Actually,
it's just like, so does he just? Yeah, he just turns into Bela Lugosi
later on. Yeah.
But Ben, Oppenheimer. Why I brought up Oppenheimer is this was the first Universal release after Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So they weren't going to put anything out that would endanger Oppenheimer's money. And the last one is God is a Bullet.
Great
flick if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Don't want to give anything away with that one. Fun. Good stuff.
Fun revenge flick.
Have you not seen it, Steak?
No.
You could have played in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You could have been one of the cult members, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. You and Frankie Stacchino could have fucking just terrorized the town, buddy.
It felt like they really went for the nastiness in that. It felt like it really harkened back to like this gritty, nasty, ugly.
The kidnapping scene is very graphic. The murders by the pool and everything. It's a good time. It really people getting slaughtered by the pool. It's such a good time. No, but you got to be a revenge story guy. You got to be willing to sit through the shit to get the payoff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I just noticed. I'm sorry. I am so fucking jealous of that shirt you're wearing, my friend.
What?
Well, this actually, both of you fellows up top. But yeah, Jonathan, I started talking about you.
Crepe show.
Yeah,
there's a fucking $1 million restaurant idea. Crepe show themed crepe restaurant.
Let's work on that off air.
TM.
We'll make that happen. Yeah, I think God is a Bullet. It had a very limited release. Again, it's just one I just don't think people saw.
Yeah.
But I liked it better than John Wick 4. I liked it better than Silent Night. Not that I didn't like those movies. I think that is the balls out, just gritty, ugly.
I mean, that was in theaters, man. Like, it played here, so it was pretty widely released, and that's a pretty ballsy movie for a wider release.
Micah Monroe, she, I don't think has ever been better. She was really good in that, and there's a couple uncomfortable scenes in that one. I will throw it out there, but if you're a fan of old school revenge vigilante movies, it is really good.
Yeah, and but that's my 5.
Cool. Steak, your bottom 5.
Bottom 5. Brooklyn 45 made the list. I've found out that I'm really just kind of a sucker for a period piece. Kind of especially for whatever fucking like Boardwalk Empire is one of my
I was about to
favorite.
say you love the 20s and 30s.
Man. The 20s, 30s, 40s apparently because I watched
Yeah,
Oppenheimer
see?
the other night too and just was
Yeah.
like it was like Oppenheimer to me is a movie that justified 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You had to be.
It flew. You know, like every time I'd check the time just to see how much was left, I'm like, oh, good, there's so much time left.
Shit, we're already blowing the bomb up. We've only been watching for 30 minutes.
Yeah, you know, I'll talk about that later too.
Francis Pugh. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God. Sorry. That man.
Yeah.
So
Brooklyn,
Florence.
yeah.
Florence.
Brooklyn 45 did a lot better job than The Exorcist certainly did this year, pulling off kind of the possession thing and a solid little gore. Like, it was a great kind of like one. I mean, it's one set, you know, the whole fucking thing, which I think is great, and then just kind of it's everyone in one room. I talk about it kind of constantly. I like movies where nothing happens. You know, there's no big, oh God, the aliens are coming or fuck it, like whatever. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Here we go. Now with things happening and they're gonna try to figure it out. Sort of.
Everybody's got a
like,
secret.
They're all just and yeah, that kind of stuff is awesome too. Is it kind of like slowly falls out and yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. That was enjoyable.
That was
Boy,
my
the
number
meter.
11.
Brooklyn
45. I love it was so close. Ted Gagan, who's not always a sure thing for me, but yeah, I love war movies. Ezra Buzzington plays one of the best assholes out there. I thought he was so good. That one again on Shudder. I know people that liked it, but it is definitely one of the best horror films of the year. As the secrets come out, I love World War II horror. So that's a good pick. It almost made my 10. Great movie.
What's it? Brooklyn 45? Is what you said?
Yep.
Brooklyn 45.
I hadn't even heard of that one. So.
Hello.
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 How are you guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
We do.
you can.
Perfect. Okay, good. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
We were all late, so nothing counts.
That was the two of you. That's it. Not
We
everyone.
will be docking your appearance.
Well, that's
to you,
3
though.
out of 5.
This will come out of your check. I mean,
That's not
there's no
even a
hard feelings.
majority. You can win a national election on those figures, but that's a whole different issue.
This is
Go
Half
ahead.
the audience just left.
Yeah, all of
They
them.
heard election.
Then,
They heard election, and Lauren's not talking about killing pets or children, so we're gonna go. Steak. Go
Last
ahead.
Voyage of the Demeter popped on my list as well.
Yeah.
You know, similar things. It was cool to see Dr. Dre. I just I'm like, like when he first came on
Your
screen,
head's
it was
ringing.
fun, but yeah, but I liked, like I said, like, you know, Jonathan kind of talked about, you don't hear a lot about this piece of the Dracula story much because, like, it's just kind of the segue between Transylvania and England. So it's cool to kind of just spend 90 minutes, 100 minutes, something like that.
Super fun.
Just, you know, busting around on there, and it was kind of fun watching it. I brought my chick to it. We saw it at the drive-in, and it was kind of fun. To, oh no,
Wait, you can't do that. You got to rep the drive-in by name because we got to support the drive-ins.
Oh fuck, what is it? Lockport, the Transit Drive-in in Lockport, New York.
Excellent. Support your
Nice.
drive-ins, people.
Holiday Drive-in, Rockport, Indiana.
Other ones I won't be repping only because they are very, very close to my home
I'm
location,
sorry.
and I've
I'm
said
sorry.
that. No,
That was
this one is not. But the other two that I'm right between both of them. I'm not. One of them is next to me. But anyway, oh boy, could you imagine that?
Got to keep the groupies at bay, Steak.
The people that would travel to see me are not the people I'd like to see because they're probably gonna hurt me.
Serial penis touchers for sure.
Number 8 for me, Knock at the Cabin, which is as far as I know, unless I
didn't hate that movie, Steak.
It's
That's what you're
only-
gonna get out
only
of me
the-
on that one.
Well, I mean, like, it was. I thought it was in. I love Batista in it. Like he kept me enthralled. I like the story. Rupert Grint being in there, it was hard for me to see him as anything but fucking
It's being
Ron
like some
Weasley.
shitty like American ginger asshole. Like,
Yeah.
who's this guy?
But
Sir,
you know,
you're
I
a wizard.
thought-
We all know that.
So I thought the cast was great. The nice little story. Again, they're all kind of it's one location. You know, it's just the cabin and a little bit surrounding it. Yeah, it's kind of fits into the kind of shit that I enjoy.
I'll tell you this: it was a fun exercise to watch with a group, with like more than one person, to discuss what you would do in that situation.
Yeah.
Right? It's fun in that regard. It's a thought exercise.
Yeah, and it's like I've only seen this and Sixth Sense. I think are the only Shyamalan movies that I've seen. This is to me better than the other, which that's for whatever that's worth to people. I feel like most people think he got out for he overstayed his welcome after that first movie, but this was good. Anyway, number 7, Scream 6. Worse than Scream 5. I liked it. I listen. I like the sisters. They really did it for me. I'm sorry, Lauren. I like what I like. Fucking old creep show. Beat it. I'm high and I forgot his name. It hits the things that makes me feel good. It's not a good movie. I liked it though. Like the story is fucking several times more outlandish than 5 even, but I don't know.
I'm really glad that it brought you joy.
It's literally just okay. I still feel good. It got me. It's like fucking heroin is not good. No one would argue for its health benefits, but many people love it. And then just missing the top 5, Totally Killer. I must have been on here. Maybe it was offline somewhere, but I had never even been confronted with the different method of time travel that they introduced to me, which obviously is, they didn't make it up. It's a different, one of the prevailing theories, whether or not that's possible. But I'm no scientist, so I'm going to shut up about that. But I just thought it was a fun little slasher time travel thing.
Science.
It was. It reminded me of Happy Death Day, and one of my
it's kind of what the vibe I
favorites
got
of the
from it too.
last 6-7 years. So
Yeah, I thought the comedy worked too, and I wasn't excited to watch
funny
it.
movie without trying.
Yeah. I think my favorite line was just like the 80s jock guy, and just like, are you even a real human being? It was just hilarious to me.
Well, the
Shut up, nerd.
There is a
safe
joke.
Space.
I guess there's a joke somewhere in the movie with a name change. That is fucking the funniest joke of the whole thing to me.
Yeah.
No, that was a cute movie.
I
I
don't know that you can talk about it, unfortunately, without kind of fucking the movie up.
Dan, do you want to give your bottom 5?
Oh, absolutely.
The internet world is waiting with bated breath.
All right. So one that's not going to be on anybody's list. In fact, I would be really impressed if anybody even saw it. But it deserves a highlight. So it's not a horror film. It's a movie called Falcon Lake that Yellow Veil Pictures put out. It's a ghost story of sort, but don't go in thinking horror film. It's basically coming of age story. It's a French-Canadian film from director Charlotte Laban, and it's about this young.
Was she a member of Duran Duran?
She was not, as far as I know.
No,
not as far as I know.
Now I'm no longer interested.
But it's a love story. It's a coming-of-age love story about this kid named Bastian who's on a family vacation, finds his first love, and it's all sort of tied around this gothic ghost story. It's very good.
Very good.
I don't know whether I'd call it a date movie necessarily, but it's good. Actually, the ending of this was probably one of the more haunting endings that I've seen. So if you want a ghost story, it's not a horror film, but it really hit me pretty hard. So
Did Dan cry?
Falcon Lake? I did not cry, Steak.
Rats.
Maybe close, but it was.
He cried so hard there was snot running from his nose to his bottom lip.
There was a sensitive side of Flesh Wound Dan. So it's not all just.
I think that's your taint, isn't it? That's the sensitive side. Or is
There
it
you
something
go.
else?
He
There you
was like a Soul Asylum song played on the wrong speed, a little bit too slow. Wrong way, train.
Never come back.
Well, my next one is not quite so beautiful. It's about a serial killer, and it is a movie called Holy Spider. It's actually an Iranian movie, but they had to shoot it in Jordan for obvious reasons. It's about real life. Huh?
Sorry, that was an internal thought that came out. My bad.
Oh, that's okay. It's about a true story. This serial killer named Saeed Hanna, the spider killer, who murdered a ton of prostitutes in Iran. Now, you got to understand that this movie, there were death threats. Like, I don't know how the director even pulled this off, Ali Abbasi. This is, if you know Iranian culture, this is the most brave movie, I think, to come out. And once again, it's a serial killer true crime film, but the ending, much like Falcon Lake, I think it was one of the most affecting endings because it, especially with what's going on right now, just in the world in general. If you want a really good serial killer movie, Holy Spider, it is amazing. Where was I? That's number 9.
I was kind of hoping it was Holy Spider, like Holy Guacamole, WHOLLY. Just
and I was thinking like Holy Spider is a great Alice in Chains song title.
Sorry, Spider. I thought it was something like Spider from Goodfellas got brought back from the dead, and it's like a zombie thing.
I'd like to see an Iranian zombie film, but
sorry,
no.
Spider.
It's one of the better serial killer movies I've seen.
I have a Saudi zombie movie.
Oh,
that's as close as I get.
Yeah. I actually just saw a Saudi film the other day, The Cello. It's a Darren Lynn Bousman movie. It's not very good.
Yeah, it's in the theater down the road from me right now.
Unless you have nothing to do, I wouldn't bother. But
great cast though, right?
Yeah, Jeremy Irons, Tobin Bell, and basically like some of the top Middle Eastern talents in the movie. It's not awful. It just, I don't know, wasn't great. Overly long, predictable. So number 8. Now, this is one I'm surprised because everybody has been in love with it, except you, Lauren. Although I know you're not saying you hate it.
Here we go.
Godzilla -1. So I think this is easily one of the best Godzilla movies ever made. It takes Godzilla serious again for me, which has not been done in a while. And I think Takashi Yamazaki, the director, hit a home run. Now, I have to ask, because is it sort of not getting the man in the suit? Is that like what it was missing for you, that you didn't get like old school Godzilla? Okay, because I'm surprised. I figured even the human drama for you it's the strongest human drama I've seen in a Godzilla film. I was
kinda. Listen, it's not a bad film. I want to say this right because everyone's going to pick on me in the chat, right? It's not a bad film. If you like Godzilla, go see it. You're going to like it. I like it. It's not in the bottom tier of Godzilla. But god damn it, is this the most mechanically written thing ever? The movie opens with a kamikaze pilot who lost his balls and refused to complete the mission. Can you figure out how the fucking movie's going to end?
Maybe not, but yeah, I mean it's
I'm not wrong. Listen, it's fine, but the thematics are and listen, it has thematics. That's cool.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
But when they're presented this mechanically, like this is the most base screenwriting. Oh, we need something that represents the future of Japan. We'll put a baby in the movie. I'm sorry, I get why people like this, but from a story point of view, it's really fucking weak. It really is. It's really weak. I love the setting. I love the time period. I think there's some great performances. There's one actor that annoyed the piss out of me, and he's a minor character, but he seems to be in a cartoon, a different movie entirely. And every time he was on screen, he was distracting me. But besides them, everyone's really good. But like everything it did really well, the original Godzilla King of the Monsters did just as well.
Well, you can't top the 54 Godzilla.
Right.
That's impossible.
And the problem is too, is like everyone's talking about how great the movie looks. It does, but they did also slightly sepia tone the entire movie.
Can't top me either.
That's not what I hear. You just have to do the right safe word and you're fine. I was underwhelmed to the hype that was around the film and continues to be around the film. Also, like the visual effects sometimes are like really fucking great, and then other times I'm like, it's a little janky. Am I not seeing what other people are seeing? Like sometimes Godzilla moved and he'd be like, and I'd be like, yeah, that's not quite as good as that train that he threw onto the freeway, you know. So I don't know. I'm a Godzilla mark. I love Godzilla. I didn't have as I wanted to.
Made me feel like a kid again. I can't lie, it hit for me. It really did.
Godzilla.
What is this, AEW?
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Is that a form of root beer?
Godzilla super kicks not a single building steak. You'd be disappointed.
He does try and eat a train, though. He's the smallest Godzilla in film history.
Aww.
Yeah.
I suppose so. Yeah. But it worked. I don't know. It was a home run. Now I saw it once. Sometimes you ride a high, maybe a second viewing, I'll see more that drops it a few pegs. But man, I don't know. It kicked my ass, and I was not expecting a Godzilla movie to make my list. I really wasn't. So that is number 8.
I was the opposite. I was expecting a Godzilla film to make my list. Spoilers didn't.
Yeah. I was honestly, when Lorne said, I think my jaw almost kind of, came loose.
Again, there's certain words that can make your jaw come loose.
Didn't say anything about that. That's not the same thing as the other.
What if India
That's
did
just gratitude?
India got a hold of Godzilla. You could have any Indian filmmaker make an Indian.
I don't want to see that at all.
Really?
No. I mean, what would their take on kaiju be? I don't know. But until I see a trailer, I don't want to think about it. I think kaiju works really great for Japan. I think America.
Godzilla's for the Japanese.
Legendary has done a really good job.
They have
Monsterverse, like way better than I anticipated a couple years ago when it was announced. And I've not been disappointed by any of the movies. I think the second film is a small masterpiece in the Godzilla franchise. But it's always going to be a Japanese thing to me. And India's doing other things really well at the moment, as you're going to discover on my list. They don't need to worry about a giant cockroach or whatever they would do.
Yeah. Well, that's number 8. I have a feeling it might make some other lists, but we'll see. Number 7. Now this is another one. I figured I might like the film. I didn't think it was going to make my top 10. Dream Scenario from director Christopher Borgli. This is also the first American film so far that I've done tonight, although it's a Norwegian director. So
you might have. Communist.
What can I say? So Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage. The movie's hilarious, but there's so much more to it. In fact, I think a lot of people going in just wanting to see Cage go nuts and be Cage. There's so much more to this movie. I can't even begin to tell you. I laughed my ass off, but it also kind of snuck up on me. It's portions of it are very, very sad. I don't want to spoil anything, but kind of the statements that it's making about humanity is pretty scary as well. This is, I would go as far as to say this is possibly a masterpiece. It might be Nicolas Cage's best movie the more and more I think about it.
Well, there's no way it's better than Con Air, so that's false.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Con Air. Maybe this is a very close second, but it's Con Air. The Con Air doesn't count, Jonathan. That's
You're right. It's in its own thing. It's its own thing.
Is Con Air a sneaker?
I think
It's the best action movie of the 90s is what Con Air is.
it's up there pretty.
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
It ain't bulletproof,
I'm not going to
motherfucker.
argue with
So
you.
you're
on
wrong.
Die Hard with a
I'll
Vengeance.
spit in your
I
fucking eyes.
love me some Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I'm never going to argue against anybody with Die Hard with a Vengeance because it needs more love. And Face Off too. Subjective, perspective, collective.
Well, let me
Face
just
Off's
say,
fucking great.
Dream Scenario you have to watch once. Now I know it might be a hard sell. You're looking at the trailer and you're thinking this is just too weird for me. It's a very intelligent movie. It really is. I reviewed it, and we
So
kind
that
of
phenomenon is actually happening too. The people reporting seeing the same person in their dreams.
I
It's
get
like
lost in
internet.
this.
It's internet lore or something like that. So
and it's funny because it's about a lot of things, and it's one you kind of have to watch, and I think repeated viewings. you
is
might
John
get it a little
Malkovich
bit more.
a deranged serial killer who takes over a plane in it? No, so it's not.
He is not. I feel there could be crossover with being John Malkovich, though. That's
How
entirely
about
possible.
this? Anything that makes me see John Malkovich's face, automatic fail.
You
I have
hate-
the same feeling
Can we
about
get rid of that?
Nicole Kidman,
There you go.
which means I have to show up late for all AMC movies.
This movie, by the way,
That's a plastic surgery cat face. It's not good.
she ruined The Northman for you, I take it.
She heard it a lot. I really like that movie, but she heard it a lot. It could have been like the top two of that year or something. I think it was like 9.
I watched that movie in the theater, and I'm like, man, I don't even think Nicole can ruin this for Lauren. I was thinking-
No, she ruined scenes though. There's the one scene where
Yeah.
she thinks she's reciting Hamlet, which is just like the worst acting decision ever. And I'm sure that the whole crew was like, "On should we tell her? No, just leave it in. She's here for marketing reasons anyway."
AMC paid us to put her in here.
Yeah.
Dream Scenario,
They
let me
bought
know.
her back in 04.
Dream Scenario also has the funniest seduction scene, the most awkward seduction scene I've ever seen in a movie. Caught me off guard, really funny. And like I said, touching at the end. It sneaks up on you. It's primarily, I guess, a comedy satire, but there's a lot more going on. So yeah. Also an A24 movie. My first, not my last one tonight. So where was I? Was that 7? All right, so number 6. And
Holy shit, Dan. You did 10. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We
I
only said
did
you had to
10.
do 5. You did 10. I'm so fucking proud.
I did
We were
10.
grading him on a
Oh.
handicap, but he managed to pull through. He didn't need it.
Jesus.
I
He still
did
gets
10.
good parking though.
All right, so this one I know nobody has seen. This might be more obscure than Falcon Lake, but it is called The Five Devils, and it is a French film from director Léa Messias, and this one's kind of hard. It definitely has horror elements, but I guess I could pitch this almost as one of the more interesting. I don't even want to do that, but I guess you could say there's elements of a superhero movie if you really came down to it. But essentially, it's a really sad film about past trauma, regret. There's a lot of complex emotions in this film. And it's really, I think I saw it like right at the beginning of January. So it's one of the first movies I reviewed of 2023, and it's stuck with me ever since. It's rough, but it doesn't necessarily go where you would expect. a time travel story, I guess, more than anything, but it falls under so many genres, and I think it's maybe the most unique overall movie I saw this year. And I don't know, did anybody see it? Well,
No.
I won't go on then. Flesh Wound
I don't
Features,
like
check out the
French.
review.
Can I just go off on a horrible tangent for a second?
Please.
Yes.
The phrase time travel always pissed me off because there's no such thing as time that does not travel.
I get
Time
that. Did you ever
traveling.
see The Long Walk? That feels like a time travel movie.
It seems too long to me.
Oh, I
But-
took a long walk once.
Well, I don't know. So Diana, can you do me a favor? Can you give your bottom 5 so that everyone's not even more pissed off at me when I do mine?
Sure. All right. So my bottom 5. So a little bit of a backstory. I usually don't watch movies when they release this year. When they release in that year, I usually wait a year or two before I actually watch a movie. So I don't have many for this year. So I had to scramble. But the fact that I actually watched them this year, I feel is a big step for me. So I would say, also, I also like movies that surprise me, that are not predictable, and things that have slightly like twists that you wouldn't expect. So my number 10 movie was one I was hoping to like, and the hype was like huge. And when I saw it, I was kind of like, yeah, I wasn't really feeling it, you know. So that one is Jesus Revolution. So I am involved in like that community. So I was really hoping for it to be like good. And I know a lot of people liked it, but I was just like, yeah, it was nice. You know, like that's really it. I think it captured the lives of the people well and accurately, and I think the timeline for me was decent, but it's number 10. So it really wasn't a huge one. I'm trying to remember my 8th one. I know my top 5. I'm trying to remember because I don't have my list in front of me.
Did I change the assignment on you? That would be a shitty thing for me to do.
Kind of, yeah.
Hey, I
It's totally fine.
I might have your list though.
You do.
I might. Just
Oh.
pull the air while I look because I'm not going to.
That's totally fine. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so I'm gonna go down my list from top. So it was.
Oh, okay. I do have your
Is
list.
that it?
I do.
Okay.
I'm not
3
gonna
Marvel
read-
movies are at the top. My 3 Marvels. There's 2 with Gerard Butler that I watched.
Yes.
Those are my
Okay,
top
wait,
5.
Let me. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna ask Steak to tell a story about whatever he'd like, and I'm gonna send you in the private chat, or
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to your phone. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yes, text it to me, please.
How awkward is this that I'm sending Diana her list? People want all kinds of conspiracy theories about this.
That's okay. I have a Gerard Butler story. That's my
Gerard-
mom's.
Does it
That's-
involve his penis?
It does not involve his penis. That is
'Cause
my
all your
mom's.
stories involve Gerard Butler's penis.
Penis free. Gerard Butler is my mom's like crush, and she messes with my dad because she has his picture in her wallet.
Oh my God.
It's a running gag. So she loves Gerard Butler.
I love Gerard Butler. He's one of my favorite actors, mainly because you can see his personality in almost all of his movies, and that's something that I like to see. I love his sense of humor.
Dracula. He was Dracula. People forget that.
Yes. And but yeah, I know some people say he's a crappy actor. I don't think so. Personally. But of course, you know, he's handsome too. So
The thing about these movies is something's always falling.
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Lauren.
He's always slipping in and out of that Irish accent too. Like it just comes
I
out in the
gotta-
middle.
Yeah,
Scottish.
that's-
Scottish.
Scottish, whatever the fuck it is.
That's true of everyone now.
Yeah, his is like him and Liam Neeson are the two most noticeable to me.
Billy, I love you.
All right, you guys can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna look at my list while I talk. All right. So Jesus Revolution is definitely number 10. Let me see. Where is it? Sound of Freedom, I would say, is number 8 for me. Again, I like true crime kind of stories as well. That one I felt was done really well. Very tasteful. I felt that it was attentive to triggers for people who have been victims of those kinds of attacks, whether in that specific, like being like pulled from families or not. But I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Did we lose?
somebody didn't like Liam Neeson.
Did Liam Neeson do that?
He has a particular set of skills, and it.
I have a particular set of skills.
You know, it's not in his particular set of skills.
I think he saw one of those bloody bastards in the street.
Decent.
I'm from Boston. Sorry.
Diana, we
Go
lost you, man. Where'd you go?
I give a shout out to my oldest sister on her 27th birthday today.
27th.
Nice.
Whoop whoop.
Happy birthday, Shambo.
She's not in a band, right? Because it could be dangerous.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
she's not.
She play any musical instruments.
Phone in her
Hide the
body.
sharp objects. Heroin.
She uses her best singing voice like she's in chorus class still.
High E over middle C, you know.
That's hilarious. Can you guys still hear me?
Now
We
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right.
We can't see you though.
That's all right. My phone is acting crazy. So as long as you guys can hear me, I'm good.
We hear you.
All right. So number seven. Technically should be number 8, but it's totally fine. It was the Mission Impossible movie. Now I know you guys have talked about Mission Impossible and what's his face, Tom Cruise, and him being so predictable and always saving the girl. But I love that one of the main characters, without giving it away, is not going to be in the part of the series, unfortunately. I love that kind of twist where he kind of just like he doesn't always win. And I'm always a fan of someone like one of the main characters, being decapitated or something like that. So I like those twists. That one's in my number.
Wait, I legitimately like all the Mission Impossible movies. They're all interchangeable to me. I don't think they're great cinema, but I enjoy every single one of them. They're not going to
The
make
second one?
Yeah,
I don't like
second
the
one is pretty
first. The
shitty.
first two.
No, the first
I don't
one's
know.
great. The De Palma film's great.
They take off at 4 though. Like that's a weird thing.
Yes.
It really gets its injection at the 4th
Yeah.
movie.
What's funny is that I know that I don't care enough. Like I've only seen the second one, but I hated it. So I
The
will
John Woo film is
eventually
pretty
give
shit, but
I will give the first one a shot at some point. Like that's
It's not as fun as the rest of its take for real. There's a different
no,
tone.
it's
Yeah.
Brian De Palma. It's a Brian De Palma
I'm
conspiracy.
also
film.
I'm also see that is much more something in my fucking wheelhouse than I'm not action movies in that, like unless they're ultra violent like the 80s shit. Like it seemed like a fucking episode
We'll
of
get
Power
there.
Rangers.
We will get there.
Yeah, sorry. It seems like the Power Rangers just where no one dies. They use laser beams, not guns. It's like ugh. But
Laser beams.
sorry.
First
I'm
of all,
sorry.
don't fucking talk shit about the Power Rangers when I'm in the room. All right,
I love
that's never gonna
Hey,
happen.
motherfucker! I will cut your throat. I will cut your throat.
Oh, I'm coming
Was
over
that-
and we're taking that out of the box and playing with
Was
it.
that
Okay. That is the
That's the Megazord, buddy, right there.
Power
Oh, I
Ranger
thought,
Megazord.
I thought it was
One day, not
Voltron.
on Region Free. I still have my Power
No,
Rangers toys.
this
I'll
is-
show you.
That's awesome.
Voltron was made up of kitty cats that were made of steel.
I'm more of a robot jocks
like-
guy
Dude,
myself.
I liked any show where the robot's connected to make a bigger robot.
Yeah, me too, man. I fucking loved it. You got to get inside of said robot and drive it.
Yeah.
Robot
And like
jocks.
That
And just like a
basically was
fucking
all of
control
Japan
room?
for 15 years. All right, Diana, go back to your list before we completely derail this.
No, all right. Yeah, I do enjoy the Mission Impossible movies a lot. Rogue Nation is definitely my favorite because of the villain in that movie was unique. But number 6, I would say is the newest Ant-Man. Um, I love Marvel. I grew up. I did not grow up reading the comics, which is probably why I love the movies so much. Um, but Ant-Man was probably the bottom one of my Marvel movies of this year. I was kind of disappointed. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the storyline and all the like the superhero stuff. But yeah, that was I was expecting a little bit more from it, but it's still I thought I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I would definitely watch it again. And if no one has done the Marvel movies in chronological order, I highly recommend it because for me, like it's great for like day nights personally. So those are my bottom 5.
Has anyone seen my glasses?
Boring list, I know.
Oh my no, I'm a fucking retard.
Can't
That's
be
all it is.
seen without my glasses. Oh, you went blurry. You blurred my glasses.
That was odd.
Oy
timing,
vey.
I was gonna say.
Jacob, he put his down. Hang on.
Sorry, go ahead, Diane. I didn't mean to interrupt again because I'm not good.
No, you're totally fine. I was done.
Oh, you done?
Yes.
So now it's Lauren's turn to piss everybody off.
Oh,
Yeah.
joy.
Well, it's not going to piss everyone off. It's just that it's.
They're just gonna
This
be
year was-
confused because it's all words they've never heard before.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got a lot of vowels heading your way, folks.
We do. We have a lot of vowels going on.
So many
So-
A's right in a row.
Sometimes. So the thing about this year that I found myself, the availability in recent years of seeing foreign films closer it's never been better, and from major chains too. There's Regals and AMC's that are embracing getting any content that will actually have people show up, because a lot of what America is putting out, people are not showing up for, clearly, right? So the bottom 5 of my list all come from one country.
No.
And the thing is, like, after this point, there's only one film from this country on the list of my top 10. It just happens to fall in this order. But all these films are like really worth your time. And I know people don't like subtitles, and I know people don't like films set in countries and cultures that are not their own. Dude, it's too boring to just watch the crap that Hollywood is spewing out. Do yourself a favor. Get over yourself. Just see one.
My brain doesn't work that good.
Just see one non-American film this year, and you'll understand.
You highly like. You don't understand how dumb I am. I think is what it is. Like, you know, that's a lot of reading and watching things at the same time.
Jonathan.
Yes.
This comes from a place of love. I want you to expand your horizons and learn how to read.
Reading's overrated. We're like 20 years away from not needing it.
That's so true.
I can read. It's a joke. that I'm illiterate. I promise. I swear to God, I can read. So people don't just start coming out to me with like symbols.
So my number 10 for this year is a film called Leo. And it is not the animated film that came out this year, also called Leo.
Oh.
No, this Leo is an Indian adaptation of the graphic novel A History of Violence, which has previously been adapted by David Cronenberg. And what's interesting is, rather than go the Cronenberg route of existentialism and questions about internal moralities, this decides to go full-blown 80s action super drama. It is unbelievably violent. It is definitely amoral, and it is out of control at all times. It is bloody. The body count is astronomical. If you want to see a guy who may or may not, I mean, if you know the story, you know the story, right? If you've seen the Cronenberg film, you can pretty much figure this out. But if you want to see a guy who may or may not be a former gangster decide to take on his former gang, but unlike the Cronenberg film where it was like 7 guys that he was up against, this is about 400. And basically he does this with sharp things and blunt things. It's
So
also
this is your preferred telling of the story.
it's No, I can't say that, but I'm going to say this is a really, really, really fun movie. To give you an idea, the inciting incident in Cronenberg's film was a robbery at his bar.
Yeah.
And they kind of do that later anyway. But the inciting incident in this is that a spotted hyena is loose in a town and eating people, and he stops it. and that gets
they doing
national
over
news
there, man?
coverage.
What are they doing over there in it?
They're
fucking-
telling stories that are exciting and fun
it's
and
fucking
crazy,
lawlessness.
and it's amazing. And the compositing on this fucking like CGI hyena must have been a nightmare. But it's great. I mean, like there's a sequence like it's just a thing that happens. They don't make a big thing of it. The hyena just grabs a guy's leg and tears it off and keeps running.
I'm going to say that's unrealistic because hyenas are the pussies of the animal kingdom.
Not the
Albeit-
spotted. No, not the spotted hyena.
You better watch out, Dan. If you're ever out in public and a hyena catches you after
I
seeing
have had a run-in with one on the side of a road. I had to go to the bathroom, and all I
hang
did
on.
was just
Whoa,
throw.
time out. How are you in Australia?
Wait, hyena?
Yeah, hyena.
Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, I
You know
heard
what hyena
coyote
is?
in my.
Dog.
I heard coyote in my
Or
head.
like Africa or
He was like,
Africa.
"No, I'm sorry. I mean squirrel.
My
Oh,
brain's
no,
not
the
working.
fucking armadillo.
I don't think a squirrel can beat off a
insulted.
leg.
What are we talking? Coyote? Is that what you were trying to land on? Dan?
Coyotes are the
There we go.
pussies
I was
of
about to
the
say
animal
hyenas. Like you don't want to fuck with that, dude. Like,
I'm not a good multitasker. Yes, no, I could not take a hyena. Sorry. Continue.
Anyway, it's an amazing action film. It goes places you're not expecting. Telepathy gives an incredible performance, and you should check it out. Number 9 is these are all from India until we get to the top 5. It's a film called Ragu, which is not a meat sauce. Instead,
No, it's not.
it is a slow
you're right about
burn
that.
crime suspense film that only has one actor in it. The entire film has only one actor on screen at any point, and I mean one guy.
Is that the one where he's trapped somewhere?
No.
Like, okay, I thought it was the one where he was trapped in like a freezer or something. Maybe I'm thinking of
No.
something else.
That was last year.
Oh, okay.
That's the great. That's Millie, and that's a tremendous film.
one man,
Yeah.
one mustard sauce.
That's a girl in an industrial freezer overnight. So Ragu is a story about a guy who's being blackmailed by a voice on a phone to do a bunch of things for someone who may be criminally connected, but we only ever see him on camera. He interacts with other people that we neither hear nor properly. Well, we hear some of them, but we won't see any of them or get a clear impression of who they actually are. It's all strictly from a single viewpoint, and it's an incredible narrative choice. It's really creative, and it works like a bitch. It's a little bit of a depressing movie, but it's really good.
It's kind of almost like in the vein of I think like 13 Wishes and what's that one came out? I don't know, but they keep offering people money to do like crazy and crazier shit. I know it's not the same thing,
Yeah.
but I enjoy that kind of narrative where it's just like
Yeah.
one person, unseen force, making them do shit.
Phone booth.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Or Phone Booth, yeah. With the Larry Cohen screenplay. But this is really worth it, and you've never seen a film that relies as heavily on one actor's performance as this, because he's the only thing holding it together. He's in every scene. Number 8 is Jawan, which is literally one of the biggest films ever released worldwide. Shah Rukh Khan had a great year. This was his second release of the year. After 4 years of basically being in the hinterland and not being able to sell a ticket, this guy is now the biggest star on the planet. Jawan is a story about a guy who on the surface is a terrorist, but is actually, everything he does is 100% morally justifiable. So for instance, in the opening siege of a train, takes a train entire train kidnapped with his team. He's doing it so the government leans on businessmen to release money to all the farmers who've been screwed over by the banking system, which is completely corrupt and leads to like literally hundreds of thousands of suicides every year. But he uses overtly, seemingly terrorist methods to do it. It's a tremendous thinking man's action film. It is filled with great action. It has ideas. It might get a little preachy at moments, but you want to know what? You're not going to care because you're going to have so much fun with it. And the fact that they apparently allowed women to give birth in prison and keep the kid in prison, that's amazing.
That kid knows what it did. It was an accomplice.
I think that's amazing. Number 7 is called Asvins, and this is India right now is really playing with narrative ideas, and it's really cool. This film starts out as a found footage horror film, and then in every act, there's 5 acts. In every act, it widens the perspective of what you already just saw. So the first time you're seeing it from handheld cameras, the second time you see the people holding cameras, but you're probably wondering where it can go in act 3, 4, and 5. Well, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it keeps widening the canvas from a single camera point of view to something literally cosmic. It's just really cool, and we wish that anyone here would have the balls to do it. Also, it's a small budget film, but it manages to do a big concept right. It's a really cool film. Number 6 is a film called Tiger 3, which is the 5th film in the YRF spy universe, and it brings Salman Khan back to his iconic role from the first 2 Tiger films, which are the first 2 entries in this franchise. And it's just a kick-ass, awesome action film that puts American action films absolutely to shame. It's crazy. It has action as outsized as something like the Fast and Furious films, but without all the cloying, stupid bro-ness of those movies. So you have a lot of fun with it. It goes crazy. And you know what? It's just cool, too. I got to say this. Like, American action films have one big problem. They can never pick a fucking enemy by name. They always hide. Like, they're afraid to say, oh, the Koreans are the bad guys. Instead, it's like amorphic Asian bad guys. This film was like this film is like, no, the Pakistani military are the bad guys. The Pakistani government's trying to reform, then the military won't let them. That's the scenario. And I really appreciate like that clarity and that boldness of going, we don't really care if we piss people off. We'll put a screen up front that says we don't hate anyone, but we don't care. We're going to tell a story that takes place in our world. And even though there's fantasy elements per se, I mean, it's nothing like superhuman or anything, but it's bigger than life, right? Even though, because they said it in our world, there can be stakes. I love that. And that's my bottom 5.
Awesome.
So is anyone in the chat going to check out any of these movies, or did I just waste
I actually want to see Juwan.
10 more minutes of my life?
I'm reading
I don't remember the name
about Juwan right here because that
the
seems
first
dope.
2 that you said I actually kind of want to watch.
Same, definitely.
I can say, like, Indian action films, like I was talking to Lauren right before we went live. Now, this is what people have in their head when they think about Indian cinema. I just got this today, the Bollywood Horror Collection. Now, this is pure cheese. It's fun. I recommend it. But the Indian action films it's not all singing and dancing. In fact, that's not really a big thing at all. There's one I know that we both watched that we'll probably talk about in the top 5. But these films really do go big. Action films in general in America are not what they used to be. You know, I feel myself falling asleep during the latest Fast and the Furious or even James Bond now. I literally...
They're not good bad anymore. They're just bad.
No.
Yeah.
They're not fun. They're not fun. And I've watched more than a few Indian action films now, and they're kind of what everybody says they want. Badass heroes. There's no message, really. I mean, they're just fun, over the top, in the best possible way. If you miss 80s action, and not that it's exactly the same, but it's a good bridge of 80s action and, you know, modern technology. And we'll talk a little bit about it more later, because I did watch one last night that I think is going to be in his top 5. But
looks like
there is I think you guys will enjoy them. You might be rolling your eyes just thinking, "Oh, it's all singing and dancing."
So
It's not. Give it a shot.
So
Ragu.
intellectually, I
Sorry.
realize that, but like that kind of reptilian part of my brain's like, no, that's what it is. Stay away from it. I don't like it.
Ragu, which is the one that sounds the most interesting to me, is only available on Prime Video in the US.
Yeah.
It looks like
Yeah, Prime or Netflix
there
has
is
a lot of it.
a way to watch it. So
That's the one that's just the one guy the whole.
yeah, that seems
Yep.
dope.
Right. Yeah,
is that one
that's-
subtitled or is there a
Yeah.
dub of that one? Okay.
It's but one thing I will say, like, if it eases anyone's mind, is that especially the Hindi language films, a lot of English is spoken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that.
They were,
I mean, I
they were,
understand
they were a
get
British
it, but-
colony. They were a British colony. So, especially when you have an older character speak, you have a really good chance that they're going to speak some lines in English and some in Hindi. Now, that's not true necessarily with the Tamil or Telugu or Kannada, but that's okay. I think subtitles are still okay, and you're not going to get overburdened once you get into the flow of it.
I always feel like I'm having a stroke when I'm watching them because like I'll understand a good bit of it and then it's just gibberish and I'm like, is that my fucking brain? Like it's
that is your fucking brain.
It's like I just forgot how to understand language.
Ow.
All right, we're gonna do number 5s on everyone's list.
Nope. Yes. Yes.
Oh, yay, good. It's like I'm alone up here. Steak, why don't you start us? You're number 5, sir.
Why?
Because you're wearing the seat. You seem that you have the transparent head when you move forward, and I like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ooh, fun. My number 5 was Birth Rebirth, which
Good pick.
caught on Shudder. I didn't have high expectations, I don't think, going into it. Fuck it, I loved it though. It kind of reeks of Frankenstein in the best ways. What's her Terry? No, who's the doctor, the lead?
Marin, Ireland.
Marin, Ireland. Yeah, Jesus.
Mr. MD.
From Dark
She was in something else also this year. She was fantastic in both things.
Yeah.
Awesome. She's awesome.
I thought
very good.
the
Also in Empty Man.
Yeah.
yes, shit. Yeah,
It's
she's-
becoming a cult classic now, by the way. Have you guys seen that?
It is a fucking classic.
I know, but like the
Well, I mean-
the people who didn't go fucking watch it. Right? We got
We knew!
We knew
3 years ago.
that you want that fucking Redbox DVD now, don't you?
Yep. I got it. That is fucking very cool. Like that whole package ended up being with the custom case and all this. Sorry. Yeah, Birth Rebirth. I have a hard time coming up with big soliloquies or whatever on these movies, but it was modern and kind of stylish and dark. It was gritty without being like artificial about it, which I kind of like. Like there was no fucking no. I'm stupid. Leave me alone. But like it worked well.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
like for a while, it was hanging around 1 and 2. So like some things pushed it back, and I bet if you asked me in another 6 months, it might go back up. But
what an ending!
That is one that I am for sure going to be bandying about to people. Like, watch this, or I'll kill you.
It's a down.
And then you giggle, so they don't know if you're serious or not.
It's a very disturbing film, but I will say that bathroom scene was pretty hilarious.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Dan likes any film scene that takes place in a bathroom, though.
That's not necessarily what you think, but yeah.
Burger King bathrooms.
I'm
I'm
glad you picked that.
bathroom.
R.I.P.
Wow, Jonathan, that is disgusting.
That's not real. That's the Humpty Hump. I do the Humpty Hump. My name is Humpty. Nobody did Underground.
Digital Underground. Yeah, Tupac is dancing in spandex in the video.
Yes, he is.
I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom.
Yeah, there you
Like
go.
an oatmeal lump.
Haven't
like
we
my oatmeal
all?
lumpy, stumpy.
Diana, what's your number 5? What a smooth transition.
My number 5 is it's not on the list that you sent me because I completely forgot I watched this movie. It's the newest Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Personally, I grew up watching all of his movies, and watching that one was just like nostalgic for me. And I was dreading watching it because, like, I was like, I don't feel it. I didn't feel like watching it, but from the very beginning to like the end, it like just had me hooked, and it surprised me personally. I was not expecting to like it. I thought it was just gonna be like a typical Indiana Jones movie, but it was. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'd like to thank you for answering a question that I had.
What?
After I watched it, I said, "Who the fuck liked that?" Now I know. So it's not a mystery anymore.
No, it's not. I really, really did enjoy it, mainly for the nostalgia.
I like 4 a little bit, right? Like the little bit, the crystal
What?
skull.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah,
that just proves you just don't deserve to be able to speak on this subject.
I'm just saying, like, I like it a little bit. Like, it was the only one I ever got to see in theaters and shit like that. I'll give it that. Like, even that one I can give something to. This one was just sad.
Oh,
No.
I don't think it was nearly as bad as its reputation, and I think it's better than fucking Last Crusade, which is just sappy bullshit.
The
I love
ending.
Last
The
Crusade.
ending was
Of course you do, because Sean Connery is pretending to give a shit in the performance.
No, I like the entirety of the Indy trilogy is
Jesus
great.
Christ. No.
Oh,
What?
Jesus Christ.
It should.
Christ.
Frankly, I would have been happier if Raiders
Christ.
was the only film in the
Ooh,
franchise.
hang on a second.
Temple of Doom is okay. Are we supposed to be waiting for you to do something? You said, wait a second.
I'm sorry. I unplugged myself. I didn't mean for that to go to you guys. It was like more of a talking to the universe. Like, fucking hold on.
That's okay.
Just say no, kids.
I think the ending is the worst part for me of the last Indiana Jones. It was just like,
oh yeah, I love that it went there. Fuck it. It finally said fuck it and did something big and loud, and I was okay with that. But it's not a perfect film. The biggest shame of the film is honestly they had a perfect character to take on the rest of the series. Antonio Banderas, because that boat captain character is awesome, and they kill him immediately, and that sucks. I have spoilers for a film that everyone here hates. So I did not hate the film. I don't think it's a great film, but I honestly, there hasn't been a great Indiana Jones film since Raiders to me. So whatever.
So when are we getting part 6 now? When are we getting another 20 years? We're gonna dig him up and fucking prod him around.
Harrison
we
Ford
cloned him and he'll be good to go in a little bit.
Listen, Harrison Ford needs to crash a few more planes and then he'll make another one. Okay. I didn't hate it. Whatever. It's not on my list, but I didn't hate it. Whatever.
That's okay. Diverse list tonight.
That's cool. No. Remember, we like unpopular opinions. Dan, give us an unpopular opinion.
I don't think this one will be too unpopular.
5 will be.
My number 5, and at one point this was number 1 this year. And I still love the film. It's Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool. Love this movie.
Only 5.
Yeah. Number 5.
That was my number 1 for a long time this year.
It was number 1.
For Dan,
yeah.
I had a blast with that in the theater, man. I couldn't believe I was seeing that in a theater.
It is bold. I mean, Brandon, those are big shoes to fill with David Cronenberg, and he still has ways to go because David Cronenberg never made a bad movie. I'll stick to it. Never made a single bad movie. But he's carving his own legacy, I think. So far, I mean, Possessor was amazing. Antiviral, I don't know why people don't talk about that more. I thought that was a great film.
I never saw it. Rabid. Was that
so that's David.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the Social Sisters, which don't go near that thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. But see Rabid, that's his. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with David Cronenberg. You really can't.
Well,
thus far,
and Butterfly might not be for everyone.
Oh, sure, but even that's not a bad movie. Even his car movie, Fast Company, decent movie, not my favorite, but
that was pandering, claptrap.
Pandering.
Pish posh.
This is not for everybody. I think Mia Goth, again, she deserves the praise, I think, a lot more than Jenna
Ortega.
Ortega. I don't know. I can't think. Everybody knows Jenna Ortega. Yeah, nothing against Jenna Ortega, but I'm like, Mia Goth is
When are we getting
way
that
more
scene?
compelling.
That's coming in 24? Like,
Yeah,
I thought
24.
early, like
Is that
March,
filmed?
by March. Is that true?
I want to say March. You're right.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
March.
Cool.
I'm
That's
pumped for
awesome.
that, man.
Yeah,
So
Infinity
is Jenna
Pool
Ortega
is a
getting
ride.
like actual acclaim, like, or is it just she's popular?
She's
fucking
popular. I don't think
she's doing
anybody's
cool. She's doing cool thing. No one's saying that like she's a better actress. Not that I've heard than Mia Goth.
She's pretty.
Just that she's fucking gorgeous and she
Sure.
does cool shit. Those like the Scream movies are cool for fucking whatever.
Ooh.
Right now, I
That
think she's
Wednesday
limited.
show is fucking cool. Like she's the it chick for now. But I don't think anyone is saying that.
Oh no, there's
less.
there people.
Nobody that's not like that doesn't have like just half a fucking brain that are not also hanging out on Taylor Swift Twitter all fucking day. Like those people don't count.
Easy, those fuckers. If they hear us,
like-
they'll be here, and it'll be
That
bad.
they will come
We
to
need
your
it.
drive-in.
They
Did
fucking
you see last
swarm.
month?
They will
We
come to
need
your
the
drive-in.
views.
Hi,
I'll
Shell.
fucking fight them all.
Lauren, did you watch Infinity Pool? I don't think I've discussed this with you.
So I try not to talk about Brendan Cronenberg.
You don't like him?
I've not been impressed with anything yet.
They sure.
Wow. Okay. I'm surprised.
No, I've gone down this road. I've like Jaded Stingray was like really forceful in that I was going to love Possessor. And I tried not to let that get to me because again, hype can do bad things. But I watched it and ultimately I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then this, I kind of felt the same way. I get that everyone loves it and cool. I did not vibe with the movie at all. And it's challenging for me because I would love for Cronenberg's kid to continue the legacy because I'm a huge Cronenberg fan. As a kid, Scanners was my favorite film. Period. I watched Scanners on VHS until the tape was so fucking gone. It was. I actually taped over it when they showed it on television, and I had to have the television version on because it looked better when I retaped it. I love Scanners. I love Videodrome. I Rabid and They Came From Within, and I love all of it. Modern Cronenberg I love, but I don't watch very often. I think Dead Ringers is the last one I watch a lot. Maybe Naked Lunch, but I don't. Again, I agree with Dan. He's the one horror director, classic like 70s, 80s horror director that never put out a bad film.
Do you watch Maps to the Stars? I know it's not your wheelhouse, but they're all good.
Once I watched it once.
Okay.
Again, exactly. No, you look and you see that as quality, but it's not my thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I get it, guys. I completely get it. I see what you see. I see why I should be enjoying it. But it's just I'm not there.
He may still get you. He may still.
I don't know, man.
You.
That's something like maybe with Infinity Pool. I don't know. Maybe just years from now, revisit it. Check it out. I don't think it's one to give up on.
If I have years, then yes.
You know what's really wild? I look at Brandon Cronenberg's films, and for a lot of them, maybe Antiviral in particular, I watch it now and it's like, this is kind of plausible. I can see humanity going there. So I don't know. I love his movies so far, but
I fucking love Eastern Promises, Jacob.
I love Eastern Promises. Yeah, it's great.
I like Crimes.
Fantastic 4K, by the way. Nobody's picked that one up.
I do like Crimes of the Future as well. Yeah.
That one people seemed cold on in general, but I did enjoy it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I think it needs to age for people to understand where he's at right now.
Yeah, I agree. So. But Infinity Pool, number 5.
Infinity Pool. Jonathan, number 5 on your list.
So this is one it's not going to be on anybody else's. Air, the Nike movie. I'm a sucker for those movies. The fucking Steve Jobs, Apple movies, how these like giant fucking monster corporations, like what they were like in their infancy and like what happened to them, I don't know. I'm a sucker for that, and I get why nobody else probably had that on their list. I don't want to take up too much time with it.
Do you own some Air Jordans?
I do.
Some.
Do you play the basketball in them?
No, I don't know. We've met.
Hey,
Do
you
I
can
look
go
like
for a
I
3-point
play
shot.
much basketball? I mean, we could probably play one-on-one. But everyone else out, I mean, just a foot taller than we are.
Yeah. I mean, Jonathan and I are remarkably of similar stature.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's I'm not blocking anything, but no, I just like the shoes. I think they're nice. But like I get, I mean, it has its problems.
Comfy.
Yeah. No, they're not that comfy either. They just look cool.
Oh my fucking god! What's the point?
It's like them. Wait till you see the ones I got coming in steak. I got a pair coming in that you're gonna shoot.
Why
your
would
pants
you do
for.
that? That's like taking a photo of your food and putting it on Instagram. Why would you take a photo of sneakers and share it with friends?
I didn't know because these you'll see.
Oh my God.
You won't, Lauren. Nobody.
Jesus
I'm gonna send you a
Christ.
picture of a sneaker.
Here's my salad, guys. Look, they have broccoli in it.
Broccoli in a salad.
Took a picture of my bagel today, asshole.
Well,
My broccoli better be.
listen, don't talk to me
side.
about bagels. I don't care if you got a transplant finally down there making
Hey,
real
it's the
bagels.
best thing we got, bro. It's the
Can
best
Can we
thing we
stop
got.
with the bagel
whole
talk,
thing.
please?
Okay.
I'm 6 hours away from a good bagel. Okay?
I will mail you a bagel.
Aw.
Just put a stamp on a bagel and send that bitch out.
He'd still eat it. He'd be like, yes.
Oh, it's fucking delicious. Just start crying.
Yeah.
God.
All right. So my number 5 is a film called Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is about a vampire on a boat.
Hey.
Oh.
It's not about a cat that wants to scratch me right now because she's not getting any attention.
Meow.
But she also came across the ocean in a boat. So
That
there's
is
that.
that is how
Oh.
Shudder would describe the Indian equivalent of Last Voyage. There's an Indian vampire on a boat film from 2024. Okay.
I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I think that it was nice to see a horror film try to capture those like Hammer. I don't know. The Hammer approach to serious horror, and it doesn't completely get there, but does a lot right. It does lean into mood and atmosphere. It doesn't go on. My big fear was that it was going to go all aliens. To be honest with you, I was like, "Oh, a bunch of seamen are going to get brave and fight the vampire."
You said semen.
I did, and it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. It stays moody and atmospheric. The very end of the film, it does kind of. I think they were hoping to be able to do a sequel with a little bit more of a modern. I hate to say it, but like superhero adjacent thing with. But thankfully, it failed miserably. So we have a great film that we can keep and not be polluted by future. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't really mind if this was the approach they took to the Universal Monsters going forward, to find small stories, compact, claustrophobic stories to tell instead of trying to go big. Because even though I'm in the minority that felt like the Tom Cruise Mummy movie was a step in the right direction compared to what had been done for 2 decades before that, those movies are too big. That's the biggest problem, is they try and be these huge spectacles. And if you look at the Universal Monster films, which I'm like horrifically over aware of, they're all small stories, really. They're all set in very small locales affecting a very limited number of people.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Invisible Man sequels when it was all like super spy movies and shit like that, but the actual core monster films are all, it's 5 guys on a boat trying to figure out how to escape the fish man.
Why do you think we can't get a creature like remake, reboot, anything going for that movie?
Listen, Toby Hooper was attached at one time. John Carpenter was attached at one time. Guillermo del Toro was attached at one time. The problem is modern Hollywood has no confidence in a.
That's the one though that I think could really do it. I think that's a fucking swing and a
So well,
home run right there.
kind of. But
Shape of Water. It probably
I love
is,
Shape of
yeah.
fucking Water. Everybody
there's-
talks
I do
shit
too.
about it, but I love it.
There's
I
an
love that
issue
movie.
though. How much can you change the design of the monster before the fans?
I wouldn't change it much at all, dude.
Neither would I. But they will.
I know that's true, and like it will probably be CGI, but like I mean, just imagine that just a little bit modernized with some better materials.
Listen,
I mean, that would be fucking killer.
hire me. I will write you a next day sequel to Bride of Frankenstein. I will, and you'll love it. I promise. If you like classic monsters, but that's not what's going to happen. I promise. Like
Right.
instead, we'll get something goofy, or we'll hire Tim Burton to destroy Frankenstein, or whatever it is going to be. Yeah. But so that was my number 5, and it was a film I kind of thought would be my favorite of the year. And domestically, that ended not to be true. But it's still a strong movie. Are you tired? That I'm glad is out there, and I'm glad that I got to see it on screen because, again, there wasn't a lot of U.S. stuff that I liked this year. So, pretty lucky. Before we go to number 4, we have a little piece of business to take care of.
Good evening, Region Free. One of my horror discoveries this year turned out to be an old slasher, if you can imagine. Recently, I cruised through the filmography of a director by the name of Roger Spottiswoode, who has 19 credits with such oddball titles like Tomorrow Never Dies, The Sixth Day, Shoot to Kill, Turner and Hooch, and Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Well, his directorial debut was Terror Train, starring Academy Award winners Ben Johnson and Jamie Lee Curtis, and 21-time Emmy winner David Copperfield, whose contributions both thematically and visually in terms of illusion really elevate the proceedings. The icing on the cake is the splendidly eerie cinematography by John Alcott, who had done Barry Lyndon and The Shining for Stanley Kubrick. And this Scorpion release, unfortunately, is now out of print. It features 6 cast interviews with a 2K scan of the original internegative with additional restoration work done. So they really went all out with that release. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Region Free. And here's to you in celebration of previous seasons. Let's slay the slipcover.
Yo!
Ooh. Ooh. I think that's probably expensive.
Completely worth
that's
it.
Fantastic.
It's good to be on the right side of morality.
Did anybody see those awful Tubi Terror Trains? They made 2. And I swear they must have
came
made
out
them.
like back to back. I don't think they announced the second one.
And I don't even think they were filmed back to back. I was like, who in the hell saw the first one and decided we're gonna make another sequel to the remake?
Man.
Yeah, bad.
I never really liked Terror Train at all.
It's kind of low on the early 80s slasher ladder for me. The killer's a creepy little fucker.
Yeah.
It's a bit overrated. It's middle of the road.
The worst Jamie Lee Curtis slasher flick.
Prom Night is
Prom
freaking
Night,
awful.
Prom
Night stinks. Prom Night's definitely.
Fuck you guys. Prom Night's
That's
cool.
crazy.
I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's cool.
You
Prom
just like,
Night
you just
too.
like disco.
Actually, I was gonna say the disco, the fucking decapitated head rolling on the fucking lit floor.
That's the best part of the movie.
No, I'm not debating that. I'm just saying that's some fucking.
Well,
great
sometimes
thing.
that's enough.
Great shot. What fucking Leslie
You
Nielsen?
should have 3 best
like,
things. I don't think so.
After Airplane, but like before Naked Gun. Like
Number 4 is on our list. Let's start with Diana.
Number 4 on my list is why do I always go blank every time I get put on the spot? Is Marvel. I can't think of it right now.
Wow.
Cat fight.
Ah! which one is it?
Miss
Oh my word! I'm
Marvel, the
sorry.
Marvel Girls. What was that?
The Marvels.
Do you need
No,
to,
not at all. Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh,
No,
man.
not
Oh,
at all.
Okay.
gosh. What? Guardians of the Galaxy. That one is my favorite Marvel movie that came out this year for sure. I love that specific, I don't know, series of that franchise. Chris Pratt, obviously, but also the music. The soundtrack is amazing for me. I love music, so and the
Alice
ending is
Cooper's I'm
sad.
always chasing rainbows.
What was that?
Alice Cooper's I'm always chasing rainbows.
Oh,
This
yes.
soundtrack, amazing. You have to go down now because you're hurting me.
No, but yeah. So that one is my number 4.
Okay. Anyone have any feelings on Guardians of the Galaxy? I like that movie. Didn't make my list, but I like that movie.
I did enjoy the film, and I'm not into the superhero stuff anymore. But
Captain
I
Marvel is
enjoyed
the
it.
only Marvel movie I've ever seen.
I'm sorry. That's
Whoa, that's a rough.
I watched it in theaters and I had a good time. Just let me have it.
Okay.
That
That's
is
the only
what I
one I
used to
haven't seen.
mean to Marvel people.
I like the Guardians trilogy. It's like I the rest now. I'm like 30 TV shows and 50 movies behind. I'm not catching up. So that might be
Yeah.
Like I want to explain that Samuel L. Jackson, the '90s, no doubt, gigantic soda and popcorn. That's also
There you go.
I find Brie Larson attractive. That's
okay.
Okay.
There's no arguing with the steak.
I'm just
Alrighty.
telling you why I feel how I feel.
What temperature is the
Cold, that's
steak?
healthy.
Medium.
Not very, not
Medium
good.
wrong.
My new studio is much colder than the old. It's over the porch now, which is not, insulated as well as
Over
the
the perch.
interior. So it's 26 degrees outside. So I think that's what I'm feeling on my feet, which is in turn just freezing my entire body.
It's
The
31
things I
outside
suffer
here.
through.
37 here.
Jonathan, what's your number 4?
It's Infinity Pool, and we've already talked about it at a decent length. This should start. I have a feeling this is going to start happening now.
Yep.
Lauren, you have the floor, though, at least for 3 more of these.
No, not really. Dan, your number 4.
Number 4, nobody's had this yet. Huesera, the Bone Woman. It's a Mexican-Peruvian film co-production, I believe, from Michelle Garza Cervera. Another one I saw earlier in the year. It still sticks with me. It's just a fantastic, of all things, a pregnancy horror film, which, much like possession films, a lot of those are just like, I've seen it before a million times. But this also has elements of folk horror. It is just fantastic, scary. One of the scarier films, and I can recommend this one to pretty much anybody. I don't think it's too out there for anyone to enjoy. I loved Huesera, the Bone Woman. I believe it's on Shudder. I could be wrong, so it shouldn't be too hard for you guys to see. Great movie. I loved it. Did you see that one yet, Lauren?
I did.
Oh, okay. Did you like it?
I did.
About that one.
Pregnancy horror is like really low on my list of the genres because it's like the easiest form of body horror.
Yeah, and yet there's
and yet
that's
not actually a really completely accurate description of what's going on in the movie. So I mean, let people.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but yeah,
I would co-sign see it. It's just not on my list.
Yeah. Okay.
Steak, you're 4.
My number 4. Oh God. Number 4, I have The Pope's Exorcist.
It's fun, isn't it?
It was so fucking fun. I threw it on the list at one point because I was nervous I wasn't going to be able to figure out 10 fucking films that I could sit through. Because I found myself to enjoy some of these more than I expected. Or whatever that's worth, but like just on I guess word of mouth alone, this wasn't a promising year ahead of time. But yeah, this movie was a lot of fun. fucking oh Christ, what's his name? The fat guy.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Oh, not me. Okay, sorry.
Fat Gladiator.
Yeah,
Fat
yeah.
Gladiator.
Like he's so funny, but like also like serious. Like it's kind of what I want when you're gonna throw comedy into shit, where it's part of the movie. It's not like, hey, we're trying to be funny, tell a joke. You know, like a lot of the horror comedies end up just being shitty, like scary movie ripoffs by accident because they don't know how to like weave it into just the dialogue.
It's kind of like Return of the Living Dead. To send more cops actually has impact on the story, but it's a great joke.
Yeah, but yes, like it's marvelous. Thank you. Got that movie too. This was in my opinion, the best movie with the word exorcist in it of the year as well.
It was.
It wasn't really hard to do.
Probably since fucking 91.
Yep, one.
So like I think I can say that with pretty fucking extreme confidence. So I dug the whole thing. Even like the end, it kind of wrapped itself up nicely without just being overly contrived and just because God says it's all over now.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the start of like a really fun, goofy 90s like action, supernatural action show.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lot more fun than Exorcist, Believer, for sure.
Well, there's a film series in there. You
not
just
that
give Russell Crowe a new fucking case every week.
Dude, honestly,
There's
like,
a
if they
TV
just-
show, half hour.
Yeah.
Or even 45-minute, throw it on.
He's like Joe
Max or something.
Friday. But
You know why I think I like it? I think I like it because at this point I'd be more credible in the gladiator role than Russell Crowe. I think I'm in better shape,
Dude,
and
was
that
that movie,
makes me feel good.
was it Unhinged that he was in a couple of years ago? He was fucking great in that movie, dude. I think he may have been working through some shit during that one.
If she only gave him the courtesy tap, he gave her a shot, but she just couldn't do it.
Goddamn.
Just that's all. Just tell him you're
I love
sorry.
that- I love that movie.
Your brother-in-law doesn't get lit on fire. He would have been fine.
Yeah.
Or your lawyer, whoever he was.
Yeah, the lawyer got it. That's fine.
That movie's fun, dude. That was a good lockdown
was.
watch.
It was.
Is it my 4? Did everyone else go?
Yeah, I did. Steak did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jonathan?
All right. So my number 4 is When Evil Lurks. The Argentinian, roughly stated possession film, but it's not actually like really that. It combines body horror, possession, social commentary, as well as wrapping itself in many of the same cloths as a film like Della Morte, but not overtly. So there's a secondary narrative running underneath for those paying attention, but the surface narrative is so strong and so good and so compelling and so uncomfortable in places, you don't really care. You just don't care. Also a fearless film about who's going to live and who's going to die, and it doesn't care. It feels apocalyptic, but at the same time contained. This is a lot to love here. A lot to love in this film. Also, it has a sense of humor. And I think it's a gallows humor, but when they lose the body out of the pickup truck, I can't be the only one that wasn't almost crying, laughing, because that's some funny shit.
I'll never laugh at a body falling out of a thing it shouldn't. Like the Pet Cemetery scene. I can't. When his little feet kick up out of the. Never mind.
Yeah.
That kid could have been soup in that movie.
That was that movie. The movie was a nice surprise. I didn't know shit about it until everybody started talking about how awesome it was. Didn't even know it was coming out. Had no clue.
Yeah, I was really happy to go see it in the theater. The theater was full when I went to see it, and it was nice to see a real horror movie on the big screen. We're gonna get to seeing a few more real horror movies before I'm done on this list, but we used to get that all the time. This shouldn't. I almost fear that the 3 films that are horror films that remain on my list, I shouldn't feel as strongly about as I do. But god damn it, I just hate the lightweight fare. I just do. the boring regurgitated crap. I hate it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyone else have feelings on When Evil Lurks, or are we still going to be talking about this thing?
I think we're going to still be talking.
Yeah.
All right. We'll probably leave it as where it is. Go to number 3s, whereas this is where I'm going to really get yelled at too. Yeah, your number 3.
My number 3 has been talked about, and I'm really glad I'm not the only person that picked it because it's fantastic. It's Birth Rebirth, director Laura Moss. This movie, I had the pleasure of it had a very limited release, but I saw it in Los Angeles, and what a great modern take on the Frankenstein legend. I mean, some of the best acting I've seen in horror all year. I won't run it all down anymore because we talked about it earlier, but see Birth Rebirth, that is on Shudder right now, and it gets the highest recommendation from me.
All right, Steak, your 3.
Why don't you give your 3?
I don't think.
Don't look at my 3.
I don't think anyone wants that.
My number 3 was Infinity Pool, which we've talked about at length. I have a tendency of playing video games when I watch movies. I didn't get much playing done with this one. I just like, what the fuck? What is happening? So at first I didn't understand what they were doing, and then there's the clones, and it's just like, whoa! The end is interesting too once he's once they're in the jungle.
You know what I liked about it? I think
It's very high. Also,
me and Goth could probably talk me into all of that shit as well.
nope.
Like that
wouldn't
was a real
speak-
danger
I
that
wouldn't
lurks.
speak to Mia Goth, let alone someone that looked like her, just that wasn't.
Or for me, buddy, she could talk me into it, and I'd just be fun.
Just point at her from across the street like Donald Sutherland.
Oh my god!
I can die a few times for her.
Yeah, no biggie.
Diana, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Plane with Gerard Butler.
The Gerard Butler
Absolutely.
joint.
Yes,
Good movie.
definitely.
Okay, yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
I really liked it. I actually just watched it this morning in the efforts to
Not bad.
fill up my list. But I was usually I like to do stuff as I'm watching like movies and stuff, and I couldn't get anything done. I was like, wow, like this is actually really good.
I don't know. I don't think we should announce what you were doing. We like to do while watching Gerard Butler movies.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I won't have it.
Look at this. How about that? It's a pilot?
No, it was fun. I
Okay.
mean, it was a Die Hard on a Blank film, right? I mean,
It
basically.
wasn't bad. No,
And-
it's
but no, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was good.
it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
So,
your
that's my
number
number 3.
3?
My number 3 was When Evil Lurks.
Wow.
Awesome.
Good shit.
Did you
Great
laugh?
shit.
Did you laugh when they lost the body out of the pickup truck?
Yes.
Yes.
I laughed a little more in that movie than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I laughed when they hit the man in Infinity Pool. That's really enough that I don't care. I'm
Okay, get your knives out, people. So my number 3 film, 2023, is Saw X.
Yeah, it's not
I
bad.
think
I loved it.
I think,
bad
I think
take. I
it's the
enjoyed
best. I think it's the best film in the franchise. I love the fact that they decided to slow down to go faster.
Best since 2, for sure.
2 up to now was my favorite in the franchise, and this is better. It's just a pound for pound. It is solid. And it's even like it's not even a simple film. Like there's complex ideas at play. There's real challenges to the Saw formula, and yet it's a prequel, which shouldn't be allowed to do any of that. So, to me, Saw X is a piece of film magic only because when you get the 10th film in a franchise, for it to be A, the best, and B, to be surprising.
I give you Jason X.
Correct. However,
10's the magic number, folks. If you can make it to 10, something really cool happens.
did that happen with the Halloween series?
Hang on. Let me think. 6. No, it did not.
No, it did not.
Wait, is it Halloween 2? Like H2? Because if so, then yes.
8, 9, 10.
No,
yeah, it's H2.
fuck, it's yeah.
Is it H2?
That's
It's H2. Yeah, no, it did not. I don't like it.
No, it did not happen.
It works.
Yeah, we're at 13 of those fuckers now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's one too many.
Halloween, go home. You're drunk.
He's just hanging out here. He won't leave. He's like, in 1978,
No, I'm
I
not
fucked up a bunch
drunk.
of babysitters.
You're drunk.
He comes here every night and tells the same story.
I'm gonna be a TV show now.
They called it The Night I Came Home.
How many times does a dude come home? By the way, I mean,
I think he's
eventually
just home.
you're just home.
Yeah, you're just home. It's more notable when he leaves home. The night he left home.
We'd like
Yeah,
him to leave
he's
home for
still
a
here.
while now.
Yeah,
Just, like tear the house down too. That seems to be the
Halloween
issue.
7. He's buying a second property.
Seems
You know,
like
what would be the
bulldozer.
best? It would be the best. Like the movie is Michael walking around the block, swearing that the house is supposed to be there.
Either that or it's a Starbucks.
He's looking at the mailbox.
He just shows up and he doesn't know what to do.
No, it's like it's present day and it's a dentist office.
I have an order for shape. For shape.
Shape. I have an order for Mikkel.
I want that moment where they go
Chape.
up, where somebody walks up to him and is like, you need to buy something or leave.
And
You
he's just,
can't use the bathroom unless you buy something.
what the fuck is a scone?
Wait.
It's just being just 90 cases of elder abuse.
I just wanted to drive
He's just
to
being a boomer in Starbucks.
I wanted him to drive into the drive-through because he never learned how to drive properly, and they finally confront that issue.
This is better than the
He
last
backs
3
through it.
movies, so
Oh.
somebody needs to hire us.
No, that last movie was fun, but the one before that was
I'll never know.
said, "Oh, Lorne."
I know.
Wait. You'll
I'm a
never
big
know about
dickhead.
the last one or about the last 2.
You didn't
I
watch the last one.
didn't watch the last one. I saw the one
Okay.
before that, where
Okay,
Michael
so,
walks
all right,
across
so
the
I'm
town.
I was
and
gonna
people
say
get
I
in
was
his way.
jealous. I was gonna say that I was jealous that you hadn't seen the
Corey Cunningham.
second to last, but since you've seen it, I don't care. We can move on. Sorry, Ben Grimm.
Grimmy Grimm.
Michael Caine.
Number 2s across the board. Who we starting with?
Don't start with me.
I'll go, I suppose. Talk to Me, the Australian film from Danny and Michael Filippo.
I'll go ahead and kill it. That's my number 2. So we
That's
can
my
kill,
number 2 as well.
we can kill
Yeah.
3 with 1 stone here.
Don't you
That's my
love?
number 2.
There
4.
we go.
4.
What?
Did you see
That's-
Talk to Me?
No, I never even heard of it.
It's so much fun.
Oh,
Oh.
that one's gonna be
Sorry.
So much fun.
that one's
You
gonna
will
be
like
good.
it.
It's great.
Yeah,
It really is.
I'll have
It's
to
good.
put it on my watch list.
What,
For
what I
sure.
love is how they take such a basically, mainstream conventional kind of idea as far as essentially a Ouija board, and what great filmmakers can do with such a simple, very marketable concept. I mean, this movie is, I think, amazing. What Blumhouse would have done with this. Imagine just the basic pitch for Talk to Me and Blumhouse did it versus A24.
Well, it's like Ouija board, the peer pressure edition.
It's
Yeah.
better than any
Jesus.
Ouija board movie.
It is. It's just like what if you were peer pressured into fucking with a demon, or whatever the
Yeah.
hell whatever this shit is, right?
Yeah, I don't know that it doesn't reach that level of kind of that Mount Rushmore of A24 movies, which is a high bar. It's no Hereditary, it's no The Witch, but it's just a really great horror film. Yeah, it's
fun.
unique, familiar in some ways, but just so unique. And I think it's probably a lot of number one.
Can you bring it out, please?
Oh.
Yes,
Can you
yes.
play- Yeah.
Finally, this came like a month later than it was supposed to.
Yeah,
This is
overseas.
the
You were the only one
limited
that had the
edition.
cojones to
I
put
had
out the
to,
cheese
man.
for that guy.
I love that fucking movie. That movie was so cool. I
This is
saw
from
that was the second movie I saw in the drive-in, after drive-in, with The Last Voyage.
Yeah.
This is Umbrella. Umbrella who put that out?
Umbrella put this out.
Very
This
cool.
pen. $100 for a pen. Isn't this crazy? No, of course I'm kidding.
He's got the fucking hand.
You can flip it for 300.
So they send the pen so that you can gussy this up yourself, but I feel like that's not the best idea.
No.
Yeah, I can't, because like I'm
I can't
not
bring myself.
artistic. If I was artistic and could kind of like replicate that kind, I mean, I could have fucking people sign it and it would do the same thing or write little things. But
Did anybody else think it was going to be a Monkey's Paw movie?
A little bit, yeah.
That's what I thought. Like I was like, but
if you do anything other than shake hands with it, you're going to see Pee Wee Herman's ghost.
Yeah. So what happens? What happened?
Nothing. That's the first thing I did was I grabbed it, I shook its hand, and I said, "Talk to me," just like I'm doing now.
No, I'm talking about if you just like if somebody sexually assaulted the hand, if somebody just dropped their wiener on it, like, what happens then?
Oh, come on! You know, there's some collectors out there that did it. They won't admit it. They won't admit. That's why Christian's not on tonight. He got that in the middle today, and
he's still dealing with the repercussions.
You got the one with the kung fu grip, though. That's an awesome set, though. It is gorgeous. I just didn't have the.
It doesn't come with just that. It's got like unfortunately for me, it's a steel book, but it's a nice. It's got a nice hard case with it, with a bunch of like the little postcards. There's a nice booklet about like the making of the movie and all that stuff.
Umbrella does great stuff, man, and everything's fucking region free. They don't fucking region lock.
The only other thing from Umbrella that I got Bride of Reanimator and Beyond Reanimator, that 2-pack from them as well, because it was
nice.
So one of those films is worth opening.
Well, it's one thing, but yeah. So yeah, I would imagine just Bride, because Beyond was done like in 2003.
Beyond is bad.
So it seems like it's shit. Let's give this a shot. Maybe we can. Yeah.
Chris from Slasher Home Video says you get a wiener haunting.
There you go.
So that kind of happens in the movie, though. There's a
True.
brief cut of something very uncomfortable in that movie.
Yeah.
What I thought was really cool about Talk to Me is you have the secondary narrative thing, you have the unreliable narrator thing a little bit, but what you have that's really cool about it is that it's so propulsive. Like, that movie flies by. There's always something interesting happening visually. The characters seem like real people without seeming so stylized that we can't really get into their world. And how quickly did they get the concept to us without having to explain it? Like, oh, this can came from a dead medium, and you're kind of done, right? I mean,
that's what makes it great. Like we didn't hear like this was a shaman's hand from the fucking whatever tribe, and they put a curse. Like, no, it's just like a freaky hand.
Quickly, Lorne, as far as like the style, like, it's modern, like you said. 5-10 years you watch it, you're not going, what the fuck are they doing?
No.
Now with Bodies, which unfortunately I saw in theaters.
Yeah.
I saw A24 and I'm like, oh, maybe. Shit, let's give it a shot.
That was a miss.
Immediately is just dated and awful on top of being a bad movie.
And Pete Davidson's.
Well, yeah.
I think we should make films that take place in today's world, if it's set in today's world. So, but without the fetishism that goes along with today's society. So, cell phones are going to have to be there, and you have to make the fears that you're addressing like not solvable by calling the police.
Yeah.
But so it's not traditional isolation anymore. That can't be it. It has to be like an internal isolation. There has to be a reason you can't turn for help. But we got to stop with this whole business of people talking like they're on a reality show. Dialogue that's written way too snappy and too in the moment. Like everyone talks like they're Cardi B. We got to stop that shit.
because again, in like you're saying, in 10 years, it's going to be worse than watching films from the 20s, you know, that reference flappers. It's going to be worse.
Yeah.
I promise you. So, but I mean, you still have to set it in the modern age. So you have to find that balance. A lot of it can just be done with better dialogue and characters that have like real world concerns rather than bullshit concerns. Like, oh, next time I hear in a film, like, oh, I that post got me 20,000 views. That ain't going to age well.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Again, no, I'm gonna point out like Empty Man again because I think everyone respects that movie.
Oh.
Not when it came out, but now. That movie has cell phones in it. It has technology in it, but it doesn't fetishize any of that because it's unimportant to the greater story. That's going to be fine.
Yeah, a phone's not going to help you in that situation anyway.
No, right? So they built a film in which, you know, okay, a phone's there as a tool. People are going to talk, I guess, but good luck solving it with a phone.
Yeah, you can just tell people how fucked up this is. That's about all you can do.
Hey, the space deity is inside the body of a comatose patient, and there's a cult following him. And oh, by the way, the main character might not be real.
And then, and at that point, you're gonna get 5150.
Yeah,
That's it, baby.
So, all right. So that took care of most of the board, except for you, Diana. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Greenland, which is another Gerard Butler movie. I'm a
I actually
sucker
like
for
that movie.
Yeah,
It was a fun movie.
It was. I love it.
Was that this year?
I believe so. Yeah. Came out.
Let me make sure I'm talking about the same thing. You keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's a Gerard Butler movie, and it's a natural disaster. I'm a sucker for those because that's like one of my biggest fears on how to die. It's a natural disaster. So I really enjoyed that one. And coming right off of the pandemic, I think it was very fitting on how everyone responded. And it's just, I just love natural disaster movies. It's just my favorite.
Here's the big question for you then. Dante's Peak versus a volcano.
Wait,
Dante's Peak.
Yeah, Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
Dante's Peak. That's a good one.
Volcano's pretty
I
damn
love
good.
that one.
Ooh, Volcano's got Tommy Lee Jones though.
Yeah, but it's not Natural Born Killers Tommy Lee Jones. It's more like Batman Returns or Batman
Forever.
I
Tommy Lee Jones.
I
It's,
lived in
U.S. Marshals Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, that's exactly
Dante's Peak. I mean, I lived in Washington State. I put that one over Twister. I know that might be
you.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
same here.
Twister feels like it wanna be Spielberg.
I like Twister. You're getting a sequel, even though 2 of the main actors are dead.
The one person I want to see back.
There's gonna be more than 2 before I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Paxton. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, just leave it alone. They don't have to tell that story's like it doesn't need a sequel. Like you just make another tornado movie. Like that would be you just make a whole other tornado movie.
Just call
like,
it tornado.
It's not it's not an oversaturated spot in film or anything. I can't tell you any theatrical. That's okay. Hang on, that doesn't count. I think if you have fish in it,
if you have
it becomes a different genre.
Tiffany Sheffis in it, you're fine.
Tiffany Sheffis, yeah, that gets a pass.
Yeah, she's in one of those.
She is, but she's not like a main character. So we're not going to disparage her name by attaching it to such things like Tara Reid.
All right, we're up to our number 1 films of 2023. Just whenever I go to like the next category, like Steak immediately depths out, so I don't call on him. He's like he's that kid in the class. He's at the back.
I only
of the room.
did that one time.
He's at the back of the room. He's leaning back on the tree, trying to aim his head right towards the radiator.
Well, yeah.
Dan, strike a chord. What was your number 1 film of this year?
My number 1 film of the year from writer-director Demian Rugna, When Evil Lurks. Argentina gets the number 1 film. I think this is a horror masterpiece. This is a movie we should be talking about 30, 40, 50 years from now. I think it is that good. I'm glad to see that this is getting more attention than I would expect from a small Argentinian horror film. At least on YouTube. I mean, I don't know about the mainstream, but I'm also impressed that Scream 6 didn't make anybody's list this show so far.
It did. It
We'll
did.
see.
It made Steak's list.
Oh,
It
it
made my
did. You
10,
said Scream.
but it didn't make my 5.
Oh, I didn't think you said Scream 6. Okay.
I did.
Well,
It's in there.
at least it's not
I
high
had a
enough.
small
But it's
aneurysm
also-
when he didn't.
He did. He like his. I thought maybe he had died.
A
But
part of me did.
it
But at
was-
least it's 10. If that's number 1, you haven't seen enough
It's-
movies.
It was number 6 or
Yeah.
something, though. That's the problem.
No, I pushed it down. I fucking just re-look at it.
Repressed it. He just
Yeah.
fucking got it down there. You know?
Pushed it down like a ponytail on prom night.
Yo.
Yeah.
I just go ahead, Dan. I don't have anything to say.
No, that's okay. I didn't think you
You're
picked it.
talking.
I don't know.
Yeah.
When Evil Lurks, I do. I really think this movie is unique. I think it's fantastic in every way. It's scary. It's gross. There's a lot more going on than you might think. It is just an
That's how people
excellent
describe
horror
me.
film.
Scary, gross, a little more going on than what you think.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
less.
See, Argentinian Jonathan right there. And when Evil Lurks. This one was a strong number 1. My number 1 was never in doubt after I saw this movie.
It's good shit. Can't argue.
Wowzers! I just made a mess in my trousers.
Again?
Also on Shudder, so you can. It's
It is. There's no excuse. Yeah.
He filmed it.
Dog scene was great then.
The trouser situation.
Trouser is such a weird word. When you look at it for too long, it doesn't seem real.
Oh no, dude! Down here we got britches. I don't want to hear weird.
That sounds like something that grows off a tree.
Oh, dude! I had to go in depth on where that came from one time. Me and my buddy we just kind of die laughing about the word britches because I thought I don't know.
Britches.
That comes. That's actually an English thing, but carry on.
Breaches.
Breaches. Yeah.
Jonathan, why don't you just take it? What was your number 1 film of the year?
Guarantee nobody else got this one at number 1.
Take it.
Is it about sneakers?
No, that was 5. Oppenheimer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Blackberry.
I loved Oppenheimer, man.
Great movie.
It was awesome, and like Steak said before we went live, that movie just flew by.
Oh, was that before we went live? Shit.
Was it? I think
It
was.
did. I don't remember, but I watched it Monday night.
That was the show you guys don't get to see.
Yeah, that's way more
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot less cursing for some reason.
And
But,
weirdly,
like,
not as much clothes either.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, 3 hours probably isn't enough time to tell that story, honestly.
No. God.
And it's so. I mean, it's beautifully shot. It's Christopher Nolan, right? So it's going to be fucking gorgeous. I mean,
Shout out Gary Oldman.
building up to the test of the first bomb is like there's some serious tension there. Like I guess I never understood like how serious this was and like what could have happened. Like they didn't know what was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a what is it they say? It's a not. It was almost zero chance that it would ignite the atmosphere, like, but not zero. What?
It's only a small chance that it's gonna wipe out all human life.
What was Siri?
And just and then beyond that, like the whole story of his personal life, which dude was a fucking ladies' man, wasn't he? I mean, I wouldn't have pegged that, and it seemed to get him in trouble quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't know those things about him, and then of course the later on the communism trials and things like that, and like what he did to try to keep the arms race from escalating and things. You know, it's not really things that history casts a good shadow on. So
yeah.
But you know, you got to ask yourself, what would you have done in those situations where like literally the power of the fucking sun is being wielded, and whoever comes up with it first is who rules the world. So you're kind of forced into it because you're one of a very small group of people that can even fathom how to do that. And, it's a great human story. Is what I guess I'm trying to say. There's a really good human story inside of all that. So
It's pretty wild what had to be going on in his head. I mean, you were the one that got there. Something that could, in theory, wipe
well,
out.
in the movie, I don't know like
the
how
world.
accurate it is, but it's like the second that they fucking achieve fission, it's like we got to build a bomb. Like, and I assume that's almost as quickly as that happened.
Pretty, yeah.
It's like, did it work? All right, let's start working on this bomb.
You've written.
Do we-
I know you haven't seen the movie, but I know you've written novels set in the period. Lauren, did you ever have an opinion of the whole Oppenheimer thing? Because I think it's fascinating.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really looked that deep into Oppenheimer as a person. I don't know. I think the reason I like that time period, anything pre 1960, really, is just because it's so. The world seems sane, not clouded by all the noise. In a way, and it's funny you say this because, in a way, this third season of Twin Peaks is all about this. In which, like, from the moment we explode the first nuclear weapon, and at the same time, kind of mass media takes off about the same period.
Yeah,
we start spiraling into louder and louder noise and danger, and paranoia, and probably loss of personal consciousness. So that's kind of what Twin Peaks ultimately is about in the third season, at least. Kind of retroactively, the first two seasons too, because it kind of swallows up those seasons. And I think Oppenheimer is kind of the movie, anyway, is kind of going for those same goals. But I will say I don't have the 18 and a half hours necessary to watch it right now. So I've not
3
seen
hours.
it.
on the
I get
clock.
that. I get that. It's an ass.
This one is worth it. So when you can.
So Nolan is one of those guys that I really like as a filmmaker, but it always takes years for me to see his movies.
Yeah.
I literally just saw Dunkirk recently.
Yeah,
Dunkirk's a weaker one too for me.
I'm not
I
sure
liked
I've
it.
seen
I liked it. I
No,
like
I like it.
I like the
But
fact
it's
that
like
like
Tenet
falls
and Dunkirk.
downstairs and dies. I love that.
Tenet was wild. I guess it just wasn't.
Tenet
for
was
me.
fine, but it was trying to
You had
be an action film.
really pay
Yeah.
attention to that fucking movie. Or maybe I'm just that dumb. Maybe a dumb person had to pay extra attention to that movie to figure out what the fuck was going on. Smart people may have had an easier time.
We don't know any of them.
It's like a monkey trying to do math.
Diana, what was your favorite movie of the year?
Equalizer 3.
I could actually
Denzel.
co-sign that. I like that movie.
Great trilogy.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten around to that one yet.
In Lauren's opinion,
you for
one of the
reminding
only couple of remaining movie stars.
True. Denzel. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Um,
definitely.
When has Denzel ever turned in a bad performance? There's only one answer to this, by the way.
What's the answer?
What was the film he made? The science fiction film he made with who's the villain?
Matrix?
No.
Training Day.
No.
Science fiction film.
God damn it. No, he's in a bad science fiction film in the early 2000s.
Oh, you know what? I gotta look this up now.
And no one's good in it.
iRobot. It's iRobot.
It's not iRobot.
No, that was Jada Pinkett Smith's wife.
I think you could just Google the only bad Denzel Washington film. You'll probably end up with it.
I'm gonna figure
Hey
this out.
Siri, what is
I'm
the
on the
only
case.
bad Denzel Washington movie?
And she said The Book of Eli.
Okay, I found this on the web for what is the only
Oh,
bad
you're a
Denzel
lazy
Washington movie.
bitch. I want to read.
What does it say?
It'll say virtuosity, but
That's it.
Yep,
That's
48
it.
Virtuosity.
That's a
Yeah.
shitty film. That's
Yep.
a shitty film, and he's actually not good in it. But it's only because he's in a really shitty film. Other than
Ooh,
that, he
Russell
has, like,
Crowe also in it.
Yeah, he's
1995.
Okay, there you go.
It would have been a fun Steven Seagal movie. It just, Denzel.
There's no
think-
such
I think
fucking.
you just
There's no
proved
such
my
thing as a
point.
fun Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah,
think
it's
you proved
dumb.
my point.
It's dumb.
It's bad.
Man on Fire, though, that might
Man
be.
on Fire is amazing.
They're filming
but
Gladiator
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Gladiator 2: The Spawning.
I love the scene in Man on Fire when the guy like comes to and he's like got a grenade in his ass. Denzel is just like it's hilarious.
Did we lose Steak? Is he around? Did he run to the bathroom?
He might have ran to the bathroom.
I had to get a sody pop.
Shorty.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
So what was your number one film of the year, sir?
My number one of the film of the year.
Barbie.
I noticed I've
Maybe.
It was the Taylor Swift concert movie, wasn't it?
Well, you know, I got to hear that during my fucking number one. Or no, actually, I think that one I was okay with. I was at a better theater, which you think would have, you know, maybe, you know, more insulation or soundproofing between the theaters, but nope. Killers of the Flower Moon was interrupted by just loud awfulness multiple times.
Go tell your dad to go pick out a wedding dress or some shit, right?
I'm just picturing Snake walking in the Taylor Swift movie. Shut the fuck up!
Shut the fuck up!
And then he would get beaten down in the lobby as they're attempting to disrupt the patriarchy.
Just a sea of fucking hair and haircuts.
Steak
Front blown out in the back.
Steak is just yeeting these like teen girls just across the.
It's all women almost, dude. Like there's no type. They go across.
But you want to know what? I can't honestly even be upset by this because like a concert movie made a ton of fucking money this year. I'm kind of okay with it.
It made the most money because it made money being made. And then just coming out was its.
No, but listen, if people would please get like honestly back into music, I'd be happy, even if it's not my thing. But people like treat music like it's a second-class citizen art at this point, and I don't like it.
No.
So yeah, these girls have a passion for it. It's not my thing. You know what? You did a good thing. Also, I love the fact that they did way better than the Beyonce movie. There's something beautiful there.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah,
my number one
favorite movie of the year
was one that I didn't really hear much about it because it kind of right as they would kind of start to kind of do the advertising for it and the whole press thing, that wacky little strike happened, and so like there was a whole episode of the Tim Dillon show where they talked about the movie, where they were meant to talk about the movie and then just couldn't. So they had a fascinating discussion on sharks for an hour. But the movie I'm talking about, of course, is Thanksgiving by Eli Roth, and starring Tim Dillon.
Starring Tim Dillon?
Obviously,
starring Tim Dillon.
Not really, but it should have been. There was when I saw how how well he was actually just holding his fucking own, because based on the way he talked, I was expecting him not to be in the movie at all, frankly. So to see him in it for as long as you do was interesting. And, this is a minor spoiler, I guess, but he does die at some point. I was hoping that he was kind of the end of
killer.
Like that just would have been fucking sweet somehow. I don't know. I'm fascinated by that man. He makes me laugh so much. But he did it in this movie without ruining it, which could have easily happened. Like it fits. Mm-hmm. It doesn't just seem like Tim Dillon. Now there is a little bit where he's not a great actor, so sometimes when anything that has to do with him moving his whole body looks very much like a YouTube skit. But it's nitpicking.
He was a child star though, so not a debut.
Well, I wouldn't say a star. He was in 2 episodes of Sesame Street, and he was in fucking
some Disney thing, right?
No,
Go Ask Raven.
He played the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy in stage productions of whatever the fuck play that is. I can't think of it now, but yeah, let's not pretend he was a star as a child. He had a couple turns, and his parents didn't pimp him hard enough. But The Sexiest Man Alive was terrific in it as well. I can't think of his name because I'm a piece of
Patrick Dempsey.
Yes, I only know him from being in Grey's Anatomy, which is a show I've never seen. It seems like shitty, like ABC melodrama shit, so I assumed it's not for me, so I never bothered.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, great. You have fun. there's a TikTok broad in there who's I also assumed would ruin the movie, and she's fine. She's very forgettable, and that's all you're asking for. The final girl, like the main chick, was terrific. It's always great to see Gina Gershon. Great cast. I fucking just loved the movie. I had such a fun time, and that's with me knowing that I have fun seeing pretty much any movie as long as I'm in a theater and can shove salt and not sugar down my throat.
You're getting a sequel.
What did you guys think?
It's franchise now. I had a lot of fun
Is
with
it
it too. Yeah, you're getting a sequel.
I guess I'm glad that it did well enough that can happen, but
I want Werewolf Women of the SS though.
No, you don't.
Probably not when I get the final product, but
Isn't that just called Howling 2 Sturba Bitch?
see, I want more like Salon Kitty, and I know I'm not
You're
going to
not getting
get
that.
Salon Kitty, but that's what I want. I can dream.
When you want Tito Brass and you get Rob Zombie, life is not fair, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I like. It was fine. It was fine.
that's fair.
I do think one thing is really interesting about it, which is that they should have put this all over the fucking marketing material. Is that the concept was that it is not the film that the trailer was for in Grindhouse. It is a remake of that movie, and I think that's kind of fascinating and cool.
Yeah.
But I almost
But,
think they could have leaned even further into that.
So the only thing I wonder if maybe they would hope to do that had they been able to talk more about it in the lead up to it. I mean, who knows? I do also want to say what I think the most about this movie is that you don't really get hit over the head with any message, and there's hardly any kind of fucking messaging really in there at all, outside of the thing that everyone agrees with, which is like Black Friday shit has gotten ridiculous.
Well, that would have been more
So the
relevant
fact
2
that it's
years
like
ago.
it's a whole month, like but it's Thanksgiving and it's germane. It's not like it's not like attaching the patriarchy to something called Black Christmas. Like fucking that's what I hate, and that's what happens far too often on these fucking, especially anything fucking Blumhouse. But all these fucking modern horror things, they're all too eager to get whatever the fucking message is, man. Good, bad, or indifferent. Fucking whatever end of the political spectrum you're on. You don't need to fucking do it. At least not as heavy-handed as it's done.
Well, that opening sequence at the department store is my favorite part of the movie. I mean,
Yeah, it's such chaos.
What I compare it to is the opening of the Ghost Ship remake.
Yeah.
Quasi remake. And that the film never quite hits that level again for me. And that's a little bit unfortunate, but by the same rate, like that's okay because the sequence is pretty great.
So I would say though that the drop off isn't nearly as severe with Thanksgiving. It's still
No, it's not as severe. But I will say I did hate how they killed the killer. I just thought that was the worst fucking climatic kill the killer sequence ever.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a fun night at the movies. It just wasn't something that I'm going to do every year, like because I'm seeing that everywhere. That's this is a new horror holiday tradition.
I don't.
And I don't see it as being.
Can
that
I say
strong.
this because I see people say that a lot about all kinds of different shit. Like even Blood Rage is something that I don't watch. I don't watch anything at a certain time of year. I'll watch fucking Halloween in February. If I want to watch the movie, I want to watch the movie. I don't save them for fucking the holidays and shit. Like I guess that's kind of fun if you're gonna have a party or some shit. It's nice to throw something like that on. But like,
Well, I used to have
oh
friends.
boy,
and we
I gotta
watched
wait
them
all
together.
year to watch this movie again. Rats! I missed.
But see, for something like Blood Rage, I don't need to watch that motherfucker more than once a year. You know what I'm saying?
That's true too. That's fair.
So it's
But,
almost like, I'm gonna get Blood Rage in.
Sure. But if I'm not feeling it, like it's not something that I build my holiday around. If I fucking I didn't watch it this year, so
Yeah.
maybe sometime in 24. It is fun though. It's so fun to fucking show people. That movie's bad shit. I'm sorry.
Before I give my number one, I want to just say that yesterday my art print from Kayla Reed arrived.
Ooh.
A
Got it
lamplighter.
framed already. Nice. That's
Not
cool.
really. This is in like a really cheap frame. It's got to get a real frame, but
Gotcha.
And she's an incredible artist that really needs your support. You can go to my channel. You can see our talk with her. And I'm going to put the link even in this description, I think, of this video. She's incredibly talented artist. If you like artists like Edward Gorey, you need to check out her stuff. And you need to support her because we always want to support people on the way up before they have to make the concessions that getting popular makes you make. So incredible work. My favorite film of this year by far was, but let me preface by saying that I'm including both the experience of watching the film and the film itself, was Patton. The fourth film in the YRF spy universe series. It is just everything anyone could ever want from an action film. It is big, it's loud, it's chaotic, it's patriotic. It has a villain that is like fun to watch and who is competent. One of the problems that has been really like a problem for action films, especially domestic ones recently, is that the villains are just kind of shit. And when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, they can't hold their own against the heroes because like your aging action stars by necessity can't take on like, you know, something that's imposing. So you tend to get, you know, I don't know, weak ass villains. And that's because all the action stars in America are all 80 years old, except for Gerard Butler. And he exclusively makes films for Diana.
Clearly.
But Patton stars Shah Rukh Khan, which is literally the biggest star on the planet. It is a starring role in which he gets to show off his comedic chops, his acting chops, his dramatic acting chops, and his action ability. It's a film that doesn't mind going really big and very loud and very broad, but never loses inertia and never makes you do the kind of eye roll that you do on a Fast and Furious film. And that's despite having as big an action set pieces as you will ever have seen in a film. There's a scene.
The helicopter escape at the very beginning. Yeah.
It's just huge. Or the escape from the prison train sequence that ends on a bridge is, I mean, you've never seen anything like it. And it's a great companion piece to Tiger 3, which is earlier on my list because they are definitely bookends in the same franchises and they play with each other as films.
But you don't have to watch them.
No,
like I wasn't lost.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
But they're really well written. They're all told out of sequence so that like the picture comes into focus of where you're at. Like this one starts in the middle of the story, but then you get the other pieces. They're intelligently made. They're really, really fun movies and surprisingly emotional when they want to be, which is something that you're never going to tear up at a Sylvester Stallone, film that's of this vintage today. It's just not going to happen. There's a character who's sacrifices themselves in the film, and it's a moment. It's a legit moment. Dan, I know you watched it today.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was fantastic. Again, this is not singing and dancing. This is just a badass action film. And I don't know, maybe we'll get there. And I keep forgetting the lead's name. I'm sorry, but maybe he'll become I know he's older.
I keep hearing Shaka Khan.
No, Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Maybe a Jackie Chan thing will happen for him, and he'll have a big run in the U.S. I don't know. I know he's a little bit older than when Chan.
He's 7 years older than I am.
There you go. So
we all know that Lorne is old.
Stop filming him immediately.
Although, ironically, younger than a lot of our American action stars.
Much younger.
I mean, we've still got Harrison Ford, Stallone. I mean, some of these guys are
in his 60s.
Yeah, I was gonna say fuck. Liam Neeson is in his 70s, so these guys aren't young. No, I highly recommend Patton. It's definitely probably the best pure action film of the year, for sure. I mean, I get nothing out of James Bond or I'm not saying the franchise is bad, but even Mission Impossible, I'm just kind of done. This is a little bit different, and I think it'll bring you back to where you want to see action films. If you watch Pathan and you don't like it, I would be surprised if you're an action fan. Indian film or not, I don't think the cultural differences are that high. Decad is another one I know Lorne's talked about a lot.
One of my favorite films of all time. So
very accessible.
I mean, listen, guys. Hey,
English
they're not
audience.
eating cheeseburgers, so what? You know.
no cheeseburgers, but a lot of ass kicking.
Yeah, a lot of dead people.
A lot of dead people.
A lot of people die in these movies, like more than in like Total Recall. So there's that.
Yeah, no, highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun, and you could, if you have Amazon Prime, it's free right now.
Yep.
So
it costs
easy
you
way to
nothing.
check it out.
It just you know what? Here, I'll make you a deal. I'll make everyone here a deal. If you have Prime, just watch the opening 10 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. If you decide to stop, then cool. You've done your favor to me. We'll never talk about it again. But I almost guarantee if you get to the title card, you're watching this movie.
Which one is this?
Pathan. Sorry, I keep saying it wrong.
Okay. And it's on Prime?
It's on Prime.
Free on Prime as of this recording. Yes.
Because we constantly talk about when did action films become lame, right? Because they have. This is not bad. This will bring you back to the glory days, if not exceed them.
It really, really will. I don't see anybody watching it. If you like action films, I think it will grab you in that first 15 minutes. And it's funny too.
I'm reading the plot, and it sounds like when they parody like a crazy fucking storyline for an action movie in like another movie. That's what this sounds like.
Yeah, it's wild.
Thunder Gun.
Yeah, Thunder Gun. More dick. That's what it needs.
You're not getting any dick in this.
No dick.
Well, I mean, what's the point? What are we watching for?
The dick cut may come on 4K.
There you go. They just start making Thunder Gun.
That's mutilation.
That's how they get it. They start making Thunder Gun.
The dick cut coming soon. It's a foreskin slipcover.
Oh, Dan, somebody's gonna steal that.
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
Yep. We're at a stalemate, ladies and gentlemen.
He's only asking 15 minutes of you, though, Chris. That's the thing.
All right. Watch 15 minutes of Halloween Ends.
Nah, that's not going to help anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
And now it's a very special moment from Dan.
Oh, yeah, I have a quick cheap plug since it is Christmas. I have Fleshwind Features has a couple of Norwegian friends that made a movie that recently came to Blu-ray out here called Christmas Cruelty, which is available from Unearthed Films. This is a bit more extreme. You can actually see us on the documentary, which is a good doc. It's about filmmaking in general. It's not even just this movie. The Pitt and Raymond are awesome. It is more extreme. If you like babies or women or old people or anything, really, you're probably going to have some issues with it. But it's a good slasher.
If you like old people.
Yeah, they don't fare. Babies.
If you like old people, you've never been on a highway behind one.
But nonetheless, check it out. Christmas Cruelty. Available now.
Back in my day, we had to go 10 miles slower when it got dark.
All right. So, Steak, how can people follow you, watch you, know you, stalk you?
Twitter.com/steaksauceotg. That is literally all. There's a YouTube channel if you want to watch old things. Otherwise, catch me here on the 13th.
Diana.
Instagram, I believe, is Mrs. Nutmuffin or Mrs. Mock Smith. No, Mrs. Mock. I don't remember my handle, but TikTok for sure. Mrs. Mock Smith, I think it is. I don't remember. I'm not on it much. I usually just stalk people on my social media, so I don't post a whole lot.
Excellent.
We all do that. We just don't say anything about it. It's fucking...
Well,
You just pray to God you don't accidentally hit that like button on the way down. You're just like, oh God damn it.
Ken Carr is following me.
Why are you liking my posts from 12 years ago?
Son of a bitch, you'll know I was deep.
Not the bikini one.
Oh, God damn it.
there's a trick to it. Just keep your fingers on the edge, not in the middle of the screen.
I smoke a lot of marijuana. So that things like that are not.
Jonathan, where can people stalk you online?
Nowhere.
Excellent. Dan.
You can check out the Flesh Wound Features YouTube channel. If you like all things horror, cults, we do a lot of different things there. And yeah, you can also follow me on Twitter. Flesh Wound Dan is the best place to follow my nonsense.
Excellent. Of course, first off, if you're not subscribed to this channel and you're watching, which you probably all are, just please do that. Like, because like the numbers are like not right, and I'm not happy. For myself, Visited by Voices on the YouTube. If you want any of the current shirts available in our store, you need to do it, but before the end of this month, because they're all changing out in January, except for the logo shirt. So if there's anything you're in love with, you need to do that. Makes great gifts for people who don't know what the hell the show is. Also, you can follow me at Lorne Dixon on Twitter, and you should buy shit from Amazon because we like sales and you like to read news stories that are not been recycled a million times. Anything final from you guys?
Shout out to the movie Old Dads on Netflix, starring Bill Burr, Bobby Cannavale, and Bokeem Woodbine. It was very funny. Not horror, though, so I didn't bring it up. Also, Iris loves you.
See you on the 13th, guys. 2024.
That was the same shit as the last time.
Well, you picked the last one, and I didn't like the last one.
You didn't like the last one? But you were laughing the whole time.
Yeah, because it was ridiculous.
Ridiculous? That's a classic.
I'm not really into all the weird cousin shit that was going on.
You lied to me.
You picked this one. You picked this one. Cousin shit.